Good afternoon. Welcome back to Tales from the Harper's Pub. Some housekeeping announcements. So Steve Childers will not be here today. He has had a loss in his family. We're going to light a candle in honor of his memory. And then Scott will also be late. Ran into some car trouble. So Remy Restwell will be jumping on shortly. Last time on Dungeons and Dragons. What happened last time, guys?
We finished the Adventurers Tournament in Hell, one of the levels of Hell.
There you go.
Forget which one. The fourth level?
The fifth level, Malbosh.
Fourth layer? Oh, okay.
Actually, it might be the sixth. I think it's the sixth.
Okay. Yeah, we won. We fought. What the heck did we fight? I don't even. Feels like it's been forever, but I don't think it's been that long. Because I know we fought elementals and stuff in the first round, or like the second round. I don't remember what the enemies were last time. Now.
You fought some shambling mounds.
Okay, I do remember that.
You fought a horned devil.
Okay.
And a bunch of mephits.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And the original was
the last.
The last round was the horned devil and the mephits. And then you also fought a frost giant and some kobolds.
That was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. So that concluded. You got your prize money. Go ahead, Nick.
We won. No, sorry.
And you were all granted the honorary title of Marquis. And then tonight there is a feast in the castle to bring in the folks that have come to the capital to pledge fealty to the new Grand Commissar. And during that feast, the winners of the tournament will be honored. So you're invited. And Lord Clear, who you guys freed, who's now one of the like Lord Paramount or Commissars, to translate the title, will be there as well. And he had previously said that if you wanted him to, he'd vouch for you on this whole keep situation.
Wonder if he could vouch for us and not have us sign the book. I mean,
let him vouch for my
it doesn't make
booty
any
hole.
sense. We'd have to swear fealty one way or the other, and none of us are willing to do that.
Well,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Remy was thinking about it.
Say, no one but Childers is willing to do that.
I don't even think
Well,
he was willing to do that.
Childers
right?
would sign the black book. He wouldn't swear fealty.
Yeah. And then other things on the docket were you had found out 2 sessions ago that Ratchet was being held and being like forced to make weapons for the conquest, being held in Anvil Downs, and then Remy Restwell had outed Baron Durap and said to the Shadows, and there was a sit-down that was scheduled between 2 of the bosses, one gentleman who's the boss for like the Days End region, and then another who's a boss for Anvil Downs and the capital. So they scheduled a sit-down. It's about a week from now to talk through that, which Remy will have interest in, of course. And then also, like offline, it was mentioned that Slaughter, Son of Slaughter, many sessions ago, took his adventuring group, the Adventurers 5, to go look for his father, who at that time was a Lord Paramount of a region called Tarhorn to check in and see how he was, because he had suspected, based on the fact that he was being targeted, that his father was likely also targeted. And you had not heard any update in that regard.
Well, I don't think we can get to Tarhorn and back in a week. I don't know about Anvil Downs there and back in a week.
Would also take longer than a week unless you had teleport or something like that.
We do have access to
What about those
a
three
whole bunch of
doors?
mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could use the mirror.
One went to Days End.
You could use the mirror to get to Days
Where'd
End.
the other one?
So the other one went to. So they kind of went to. So it's. Days End is near Warmount Heights. That's that region. Anvil Downs. And then Tempest Keep. Outside of Tempest Keep, there was a holdfast called Bishop's Gate. That's where the other mirror went to Durap's safe house in Bishop's Gate. So you could take the mirror and get closer, but it would still probably be pushing it to get there and back within a week.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be coming up right on a week, probably.
So really, we should wait around a week before we leave Omeron City. Because we need to be here for the sit down.
Yeah. Hang in there, Ratchet.
I feel like I should send him my order now so I can have it made by the time I get there.
Pick it up on the way.
I despise
And
indentured servitude, but I'm gonna at the moment I'm gonna make it work for me. So yeah, you hear rumor that Ratchet has been captured and locked in his tower by the Lord of Gifts, who has convinced him to make 9 rings. I'm just messing around. Yeah.
Ratchet / Carabrimbor.
Yeah, Ratchet Brimbor. Cool. So what are you doing within the next week?
Well, we have the feast swearing in ceremony thingy this evening, right? Like, we don't have a whole lot of time for that's like the immediate next thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, about that plan for poisoning. What do we think about this plan?
Well, I mean, so the conversation that I was having about
Poison
that is that, like, sorry, excuse me. It's not gonna work.
Fair.
And if we poison that dude, like, are we then finna party? Are we gonna murder his ass on the spot, or like, is that it? We just poison him and we're done here. Haha, sucker, you're sick for a week.
I mean,
I'm up.
I don't remember
So-
exactly how strong those poisons were. I looked it up a while back, but they're pretty strong. But probably, I mean, it's hard to not metagame that dude probably has a lot of hit points. But technically, I don't know. Or maybe we poison the guy. What was the name of the guy who was in town, like, who was gonna make the pledge at the feast as like a message, try to get him.
So that was Lord Kalir and
Clear.
and all of his vassals.
Right. Maybe we could get clear.
And was Kalir the one that was interested in going into the Wildlands as well?
No.
Kalir is the one that's been backing us up. He's the one that said he would vouch for us and like stand with, like, basically, because we freed him. Either way, regardless
Oh,
of
that guy.
who you want to poison or
Yeah, we
whatever,
lost him.
I'm gonna have nothing to do with it.
He's not a prisoner.
Maybe it's just too risky right now. And also, it would be addictive.
Yeah, well,
I get to do.
honestly though, if we're gonna be here for a week, I would rather do it like calling into an animal sneaking to wherever they keep the wine in that keep and poison one random wine barrel that I feel like is lucky.
The fuck,
Right when
Nick.
you choose. Dude,
Okay, so first of all,
there's only
I
bad
want.
people in Omeron here.
Yeah.
We're here.
There's bad people there. I just want to point out that number one, our poison at the table strategy was saleable to guys like Callum and Runa because it skipped the wine tasters that they have locked in the basement drinking off this stuff. So you would kill a prisoner, and that is it.
So is it?
Uh,
I thought we were going to get in the whole Death Star argument. Like if you're a contractor working for the
people
Empire
working
and
on
they
the
blow
Death
up the Death Star, then no. But you're right. Well, it probably won't get past.
bunch of private contracts.
Yeah. So let me give you some more
Are
context.
we gonna go to this fucking feast?
What's that, Nick?
Are we going to the feast?
I don't know. Runa was gonna go if we decided to poison someone, but now I'm leaning towards not poisoning. So Runa would probably be leaning towards skipping it herself. I don't know how you guys would feel.
I think
Plus, she didn't take the title either. She's not into the royalty thing and the nobility stuff at all. Politically opposed to it.
I think it's worth going just to see who all's there, kind of take account of what noble houses we see there, which ones we don't are noticeably absent. It's just, I think it'd be a good place to gather intel on the situation in Omeron.
Yeah, I could
We don't-
maybe still send Sparky in Invisible. That's just, some eyes and ears. I mean, you guys are going to be in there, but if Sparky's invisible, then he can, I don't know, spy better. I don't know.
I think if we go, we should probably not try to stir the pot while we're in there. No sense in kicking the hornet's nest while we're deep in it, and just try to gather information.
Do we have any poison? Is our poison that we have, does it hit you in the moment or does it hit you later?
So the one I was looking at specifically hits later. It's an ingestion poison, and then the damage comes like at midnight or something. It's called like the name has something to do with the fact that it goes off at midnight.
It's called Midnight Tears. Yeah.
That's it.
Dude,
And
I'm
it's
gonna
pretty
take some.
strong.
I don't. If they, I'm not.
Please don't
saying I'm
drink
gonna
any
poison
midnight
anybody,
tears,
but
Nick.
What?
Please don't drink any midnight tears.
I'm not gonna drink it.
Please
But
don't drink
I'm
it.
not gonna poison anybody. But if there's an opportunity, I might poison someone. So I'm gonna take it and go to this party. If everybody else is going to the
What
party,
if they search you and find poison on you?
we still have magic pockets.
We do.
What poison?
Does Magic Pockets have a range limit?
That's a good question, Jason.
Yes,
Because
it does.
I don't know. I did make like a little spell description for it based on what you told me, but you didn't give me like a whole lot of information to go off of. So I filled in some of the details and left a lot of there's the wording I have is a range of 30 feet, but that's just when you cast it. Up to 6 willing people of your choice, one of which can be yourself, can all freely access items stored on each other's person at any time by thinking of the item and reaching into their own pocket or bag. So the question of what the range is just hasn't come up. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'll come up with a more specific answer, but I think when we had the sending stones, it was like a mile, something like that. I'm going to stick to that precedence. So I'm going to say you have to be within close mileage of one another.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
So I could conceivably be hanging, like, if I hang back with, my bag of stuff, the poison and whatever in the bag of holding, then as long as I'm within a reasonable distance, I guess you could get it.
Unless there's some kind of magic or something that blocks it.
Yeah. They could have a defense.
Because I was gonna say otherwise, like you could also keep our weapons.
Yeah. You could also. Go ahead, Tooch. Sorry. Say it again.
Did they confiscate everybody's weapons at this party?
It's not unfeasible if they would, but we don't know.
You could have Sparky
need
transform
weapons.
into a boombox or something.
have to do it after a long rest. Or no, I would just cast it. Never mind, because I changed it.
Just kidding.
But Runa's gonna hang back. She has an idea for cologne.
Do we show up to the party with Sparky as a boombox listening to jock jams?
Do you say Runa's working on a cologne?
Runa has an idea for cologne that she's gonna start working on. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a common magic item. It's called Perfume of Bewitching that I want to make for Remy for the meeting in a week.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, so who's going to the feast? Cassavell, Mary. I'm going to assume Remy's going to go. Callum?
Like, when we're there, it's gonna be like, you guys swearing fealty? No? Okay, then I guess we're gonna have to kill you now, right? Like, that's how that's gonna go, right?
Maybe.
Wait, is that a thing at this feast?
Yes. And that will be the entirety of the ceremony involving them giving to us our letters of marque. Or our marquetums themselves, rather.
We already have the marquee.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Us receiving our marquetum. Like, that's gonna be like, alright, now take a knee and swear, and I'll tap you on the shoulder with my sword, and then you don't do that, instead he hits you with the sword, and now we're fighting him and all the guards.
Well, I thought we already got out of that with our special deal from the tournament, and that the people swearing fealty were just Kalir and his vassals.
That is correct. Though it's not... What Walter's saying is not beyond question. Like, the question of
They're
your
gonna be
loyalty...
passing around a black book,
Yeah.
right? And everybody said it was clove cigarettes, and I tried it, but now you have to take this drug test for me.
So does that mean you're
I don't
going
know.
or not?
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Well, if all these fucking idiots are going, I'm not gonna stay home and let them all get killed without me.
Yeah.
I'll try to
Let's
talk
say,
them out
you
of
know-
it, but if they're not going, I'm not going.
You know Mary's gonna try to do something reckless.
Dude, I can cast Mage Hand visibly. Without
true.
doing anything. So, it's fine.
Remy also.
We might
Can
get... What if we
invisible.
just get one real piece of shit bad guy? It's worth it.
I can't wait till this inevitably goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, dude, seriously. It'll be fun. That's out of character.
Okay, so I think where we're at is everybody's going except Runa, who's hanging back but has magic pockets activated. And then, are you sending Sparky?
Now I'm second guessing myself because if there's a risk of trouble, I would want to be there to help out.
Okay.
So, fuck it, I'll come. Yeah, Runa will go.
I don't need anyone to conceal my weapons for me because I literally make them up on the spot.
Yeah, I don't really need weapons.
Although, yeah,
Or what?
if I go and they do confiscate weapons. Okay, yeah. Going back to
Dude.
my original plan, I'm gonna hang back.
Dude, you have cologne, or you have gauntlets. Like, are they gonna assume your
but everyone
gauntlets
else
are
will have
weapons?
it in case a fight breaks out, and they take your sword when you go in. Instead of bringing your sword with you, dash it in the bag of holding, and I'll be nearby enough that you can magic pockets it if you need it.
Which is great, but like I was saying, I don't need my sword.
That's true.
Yeah, no one really needs a weapon except for probably you, Runa. And you just use gauntlets, right?
Yeah.
Because Mary uses magic, Callum summons a blade, Cassavell uses hand-to-hand combat, and Remy uses a lute.
Yeah.
Now, I definitely do more with the sword, but I don't need it.
All right, so final answer is we're going to go in or hanging back?
Hanging back.
All right.
This is the same
Okay.
day as the tournament?
It is.
Okay. Well, have we had enough time to have a short rest?
Yes.
Okay.
One
Because
moment.
I am not at full hit points, so.
I will send Sparky though with you guys, just because I can maintain telepathic contact with Sparky in case something goes wrong. You know. I don't know. How about that?
There you go.
And then what? You're gonna jog your ass in?
Yeah, I guess. Expeditious retreat my ass
Nothing,
over there.
there's going to be no fighting. Hopefully, there's no fighting.
Hopefully, there's no fighting.
I'm looking at the Saladia wiki real quick.
If it ends up in a fight, that'll end up with a lot of trouble because we got to be back here for that meeting with the Shadows, don't we? Isn't that here?
Yeah, you don't want to aggro the whole capital. That would be bad.
Yeah, just like one guy, just like one piece of shit.
Yeah. Dude, why is this so
And
hard?
then we'll boom. Yeah. Gotta find one piece of shit. I'm gonna hide in the corner. Somebody's gonna make a distraction. I'm gonna magically use an invisible mage hand to take poison, pour it into the piece of shit's cup, and then put the poison vial in somebody else's bag who's also a piece of shit. That's my plan.
Good work. And don't forget our spies murmurs. We can all telepathically speak with each other in case we need to coordinate.
Just like in the
And that's
D&D
within a
movie.
mile, right? That's the thing that was originally in a mile.
I think
Okay.
so. Let me double check.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 mile.
As you approach the castle is at the center of the city, which is called Omron City. There are scores of nobles that are all approaching to attend this feast. So you had known previously that Lord Zarlek Kalir, who is now the commissar of the Warmount Heights region, he has 5 lords that report to him, and then they each have their own lesser lordlings. So in total, it could be anywhere from 20 plus noble families. So they're all attending, and then of course they have their their ladies, their household guard, some of their children. They each have a little entourage that are all approaching this castle. The first thing that you notice as you walk up is as we mentioned previously, it's winter time, so just walking outside, it's very cold, and you get the hint of a campfire in your nostrils that's quite abundant. And as you get closer, there's a large brazier that was created to honor his victory throughout this uprising. It's on the steps of the castle where previously there was a statue to the epic group. Does anyone that's going to the ceremony have Arcana as a skill that they're trained in?
Yes.
Make an Arcana check, Mary Crankshaft.
At 22.
Awesome. As you walk by, you notice that there are very small arcane runes are etched on the ground connecting the different footholds of the brazier. And you get the sense of between the runes and your sort of just innate feeling, it seems to be tied to planar magic.
Huh. I shared that with the group. I said there's something weirdly odd about these runes.
If only we had a rune expert.
Sparky. Because Sparky can see. Runa can see through Sparky's eyes.
I can't see through Sparky's eyes.
Ah.
Not a familiar.
We're just making stuff up.
I make a mental note to point it out to Runa later. Has something to do with planar magic. Probably something from hell.
Dude, what if we just describe the runes to her through the BP?
Spies murmurs. Yeah. It's also in public space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tell you.
Okay. Can I make a check then?
Yeah, it's gonna be a very difficult check, and I'm gonna say you have disadvantage because you're
Okay.
not actually there. But roll 2 dice, see what happens.
Crack at it.
I mean, like, she can just, like, walk
18.
there.
What'd you get?
18.
So I don't think you don't get anything beyond what Mary got. So you know, based on the runes, that they seem tied to planar magic, specifically magic for like that is typically associated with portals, like plane shift, gate, things like those types of spells. But nothing specific beyond that.
All right.
So there's the stairs leading up they're huge and coming from multiple different angles. So all these nobles are walking up. There is a big red carpet that is rolled out, and at the top there are what appears to be guards who are searching people as you guys previously described. Though you notice that they seem to only be searching like the household guard and things like that. They don't seem to be searching any of the actual like nobility.
Which we are nobility.
And we count as.
Not until after dinner.
As you guys get to the top of the stairs, the
Yeah.
so the guards are they are wearing scale mail. They have like a like a typical pointed metal helmet, and a long sword at their side, crossbow on their back, and they just have a generic sort of black banner with the sigil for House of Festus. They give you a bit of a crooked look, specifically. Mary, are you still blue?
Yeah, I'm blue.
Doesn't
Okay.
everybody just think you're a Tiefling guy?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you don't get the look, but Cassavel definitely gets a look.
Being an elf, yeah.
Yeah. And then the one guard goes to like puts his hand on his sword when he sees you, but then the other comes over and whispers in his ear, and he goes like, and everything's kind of cool again. Mary,
They recognize him because he has one eye.
Probably because I won the tournament, the melee.
Nah, dude, it's because you have one eye, man.
Mary, since you look like a tiefling, they're just going to assume that you're the ruler of the group, and they they say, "Excuse me, Lord."
Crankshaft.
And can
Heroes of Fortune. Probably heard of this.
Oh, you won the tournament.
Yeah.
Oh well, my Lord Marquis, the most honored. Welcome to the feast. Is this your household guard?
I mean, these are the heroes. We're all heroes of fortune.
Oh, so you are all Marquis.
Yeah.
Indeed, we are.
Well, welcome. We have an honored seat waiting for you. He calls for like a page, who's just a young boy, young tiefling boy who runs over. He does like a little bow, and he says, "Please show the tournament winners to their seats." He says, "Yes, right away. Come with us."
Cool.
As you walk in, so there's a big, a very large, decorated chamber. When you first enter, very tall ceilings. The iconography is that of like, different devils carved into the architecture. Like you see like imps sitting on tops of pillars, and lots of jagged metal. As you walk on the marble floor, there's another long hallway that leads into the great hall. It looks like this hallway has had some construction done. There is a large metal grate. It looks like it's still being developed. And under the grate, there is a ton of different, just like coals and ash, but they are not currently on fire. They're inert. But it's basically just a hallway with a bunch of coal in it with a metal grate over top. You see there's a ton of different nobles hustling and bustling. There's other different pages running around giving people champagne and things of that nature. Lots of wine from the Anvil Downs, being a volcanic region, is known for its wine, among other things. So lots of red wine being served. Fertile? You got it, yeah. That's absolutely right, Walt. So they're handing out that wine, and people are sipping on that, as well as hors d'oeuvres. But they take you directly into the Great Hall. Is anyone proficient in history?
Yes.
All right. What's your passive history?
13.
Okay, cool. So you're going to recognize among the nobles that you see are House Meadows of the Soul Spring. You see a house named Quinn, who is normally associated with a lower vassal of Mana Falls. House Morris of the Black Spire. So these are all different noble houses that were part of that Warmount Heights area.
Okay.
There. Well, I don't know, but like he might know. I asked Joel if there's any houses to the east of Omeron City that he notices.
Make a site-based perception check. Actually, it doesn't. It's a stupid check because you can't pass. The answer's no. So there's like you could have got a 30. I would have said no. There's not. So you notice that the vast majority, all the nobles that you can see, seem to be from the southwest region. You don't see anybody from the other regions. There's a couple people that are like associated with like the Hephaestus noble entourage that are here, but outside of that, no. All right, and then you're brought into a very large great hall. So it has several long tables, hundreds of feet in length, huge ceilings, and there are nobles sitting at the long tables, already eating like a pre-feast hors d'oeuvres. Like I said, people run around serving drinks, and he shows you to your spot, which is at like the very end, kind of the furthest from the dais, but still in the grand hall that's there. And there's a little placard that says Heroes of Fortune.
Nice.
I
assume people have offered it.
Yes, people are offering you hors d'oeuvres 100%. Yeah. So there's some fresh fish from Gavin's Bay, roasted. There's large bass, and then also salted smaller blackfish. There's some like pork-based appetizers, some grapes and fresh fruit, and then a small garden salad of the Neverth variety. They don't like elves, but they'll eat their food.
Hypocrites.
Yeah. And then of course they say, "Would you like some wine or ale, my honored Marquise?"
Wine.
Wine? All right. They come over with a,
How do we know somebody hasn't poisoned it?
It's true.
Oh,
They come over with a vase and pour you some wine in a goblet.
so they have decanters.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have, what do you call it? What do they call the...
A pitcher?
Yeah. Towards the front of the tables, there's a huge box. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Carafe there.
So it's actually in the middle of the setup. So the very front is the dais, and there is a throne that sits up there. Looks like it's made out of bone and spiked iron. Sitting next to the throne is a little pillow. It's currently unoccupied, and then there's 2 chairs to the back behind the throne that they don't look as evil. They're nicely decorated. On the wall, there are banners. Cassavell, you recognize, of all the noble houses in Oberon, and in the center of this whole setup, with tables flanking either side, is where they're making a lot of the food. But you also notice that it's a huge bonfire, but people are tearing banners off the wall and throwing them into the bonfire and using it to fuel the feast. So,
I'm assuming that the banners that they're pulling off are those that are not here to swear fealty. Those are loyalists to...
You got it. So, you recognize some of the banners that are missing from the wall, so there's just like blank spots where they would be. And you see the sigils sticking out of the fire are the great axe of House Slaughter, the magical leaf of House Manaleaf. I said that earlier, didn't I? I said Manaleaf.
You said Mana Falls.
Mana Falls, okay, good. I want to make sure I messed that up. So, yeah, the magical dripping leaf of House Manaleaf, the arcane sigil of the Midvale Mages, the lightning bolt of House Kruger, the golden eye with the crown of House Sephora, the gem with daggers of House Carnet. All of those are either missing or clearly burning in the fire. Still on the wall, you see House Kalir, House Hume, House Wooten, Hephaestus, Holloway.
Hang on, the Wu-Tang is here.
The Wu-Tang is here, yep. Holloway, Conwell, etc.
Where the fuck is Bernard's family from?
Gideon.
Okay.
So they're not in this country.
Interesting.
Everyone's having a good time, making a ruckus. There is a jester wearing black and red who's performing different gesture activities, playing around with a lot of the cooked food. Like, he'll take something out of the fire and spit some fire, or he'll take one of the jagged pokers that holds some of the meat and play with it, pantomime eating the meat, put it down his throat, all kinds of shit like that. And all the nobles are laughing and clapping. You do notice that some of the noble families are having to the points that are made earlier, having their wine tasted by a servant that they brought in their entourage, though others seem to be less paranoid and just enjoying themselves.
What's the table layout like? There's the dais,
Mm-hmm.
but then how are all the other tables in the room arranged?
Yeah, it's basically like Hogwarts. It's like you have the dais up front, and then just long series of tables. The only difference is in the center of those long tables, like away from the dais in the middle of the room, is the bonfire where they're cooking.
Yeah. How many rows though?
4 rows.
4 rows. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is there anybody I noticed that's being a particular asshole?
Not a particular asshole, but you do notice that Victor Mertul is here. and he seems to be sitting by himself. Like the tables, the area around him is vacant. No one is sitting near him, and he's just kind of like probably kind of just drinking his wine and eating his meal. He looks very like, I don't know what you call it. Very he's brooding. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. You can smell the fat being cooked off the pig that they're preparing for dinner. And after a few moments of, cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, they're going to ask everybody to sit down. Unless there's something you wanted to do during that time that we didn't mention yet.
Dude, so to our seats, is Victor Mertul within sight range of me?
He's somewhat far away, but yeah, you can see him.
Cool. I sit down at our seat and I brewed in his direction.
Nice. Bless you.
Did you say you brewed in his direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
While
Just
people
keeping
are
my eye on
wandering
him.
around, are there like any potted plants around the sides?
Yes.
While people are up and wandering around, I'm going to also be up and wandering around and randomly, hopefully stealthily, drop 2 vials of poison in a potted plant.
Like poison the plant?
No. I want to leave them in the bottle. I want to...
So you're hiding them? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're like behind a curtain or something, just so somewhere.
Yeah. You can
I go
totally
there.
You can totally hide 2 vials of poison in a plant. There are stained glass windows in one section that lead to like a courtyard, and there's a window of different herbs and flowers there that you can hide your vial in.
Cool. I do that.
Cool. Anything else anyone wants to do during the cocktail hour?
Get sloppy drunk.
All right, Callum's getting sloppy drunk.
Sloppy slop.
Callum, I think we've covered before. You look angelic in your attire.
I mean, he's covered in like the star glyphs and shit.
Okay, you might not stand out that much, but you might get some people giving you.
Well, he's got like stripes of feathers down his back and like faux angel wings.
Yeah, that would draw some attention, but nothing specific. Just some people, you catch some people looking at you funny across the room, or just wondering what your place is here.
I mean, I'm not looking at him and smiling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're also just stern-faced.
I mean, I'm giving him a stank eye. They're getting stanked on. I gotta close that window. It's like blinding right now, isn't it?
Are people fucking with Callum?
No one's fucking with him. They're just like, they're giving him a strange look. He looks out of place.
I mean, that shield looks pretty fucking angelic.
Yeah, you all look out of place.
Yeah. Well, no, Mary's a tiefling.
Except for Mary. Okay. Everyone's having a good time, funning around. You hear they start to ring a bell and say, like, please take your seats for dinner. People are still funning around. At that, the doors entering the Great Hall from where you guys came open up. And in comes for a human, not super tall, like relatively short. He's probably 5'9", 5'10", or for a tiefling, but whose base template was human.
A former human?
Say
Former
average
human.
height. Average height is 5'9".
Oh, 5, yeah, so average height. 2 big ram horns, black hair that's kind of bald on top, and he has like the mutton chops with like the side going around.
Chop it up.
Yeah. with coming down to like a bit of a small goatee, wearing jet black armor with spikes coming out of the shoulder pads and orange glowing runes placed throughout it. On his on his back is a large warhammer, and perched on his shoulder is an imp. That looks familiar to the imp that you've ran into a couple times so far. As named Kernaz. As he enters the room, the mood changes in a way that is palpable. Like, everybody just stops what they're doing, all the laughter and joking stops, and they now promptly take their seats. What was once laughter and music just goes to a dim quiet as he walks up to the front.
Somebody like ring a gong or something? When this shit happens?
What's up?
It just seems very aceremonial to just have the guy walk in without someone blowing a trumpet or wanging a gong or some bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good point, but no one ringing a gong. He walks to the front, followed by his entourage of different, King's Guard and things like that. And he takes a seat on the large spike throne. He's like, with a wave of the hand, basically says like, "Hey, as you were, please continue to enjoy the feast." And the mood goes somewhat back to what it was, though it's not anywhere near as merry or joyful. They're bringing out the main course is going to be pork. They have some roasted bread, some candied apples, and then of course more wine and ale.
Cool.
What are you guys talking about over dinner?
I don't know. Is anybody else talking to us?
One of the people sitting next to you they'll make your acquaintance. They'll say, "Oh, I've never seen such a small tiefling. What is your name?"
That's because I'm a halfling, not a tiefling.
Oh, but the blue skin.
It's just a magic thing that happens sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm Lady Lee of Rivercrest.
Hey, Lady Lee, how you doing?
We're doing well. Quite the feast. I'm used to pomp and circumstance, but this is I'm even out of my element a little bit for me. How about yourself?
I'm used to royalty, but not so much the devilish stuff around here.
Oh yes, the devilish stuff. The old Omeron.
Yeah, the old Omeron. How do you feel about the old Omeron coming back?
I think it's refreshing. For a while it was really looking somewhat dire. I mean, like, we were worried about how we were even going to be able to afford having our quarterly feasts with the amount of money that was leaving the country to go to Korth. And the fact that Gideon wouldn't provide us with wheat anymore. Like, I think it's good that we're making a comeback.
Your households are in better shape.
I think it will be, yeah. Did you hear that he's even renaming the castle the Hellspire? Rumor has it that was the original name that Bishop gave it, but over time it was changed to be politically correct. It's just nice to see somebody who just, doesn't care about that and just sort of tells it how it is.
Yeah, right.
Why? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of a fan of how. I don't know. I came from the void.
You know.
The Void?
No, I just got here like 5
Void
years
stuff.
ago.
The Abyss?
Yeah. No, the void that the halflings were all in.
Wait a minute. Honey, get over here. You have to hear this.
Omeron.
The halflings were from a void?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
This is my
Some people were left, but like, how long ago was it? 200 years, right?
yeah, like within 100 and 200 years, yeah.
Like 150 years ago, a bunch of halflings all got sucked off to a void, and
To
a bunch
avoid
of them are
what?
still left here. But all the halflings that are in the caravan circuit that goes around, and hopefully Omeron will be friendly to this caravan circuit, you know, because they bring good trade, they're good people. But all those halflings can't be void again.
Oh, this is my husband, Lord Dwight Lee. I keep doing that. I guess it's Duke now with the new titles. Duke Lee. This is you said it was Marquis, was it? Mary Crankshaft?
Yeah.
He got sucked off into a void. He's telling the most delightful story. I just thought you'd like to hear it, honey.
Yeah, I grew up for the first part of my life in a land that was only populated by halflings that meant goodwill toward one another, and you know, wild beasts, and it was a land of plenty. Everybody was kind to one another. We didn't really even have a government. Everybody was just got along. You know, when people needed help, other people pitched in.
He says, "No government. What kept the peasants in line?"
There were no peasants, or we were all peasants.
All peasants. Oh, it doesn't sound like a place I'd be happy with.
Oh no, this motherfucker.
So one of the pages comes over and says, "Hey, Mr. Marquis, one of the finest cunts of loin was available and went unclaimed. Would you like it?"
Absolutely.
Yes, it's just for whatever reason we thought with your stature that you probably deserve it. So here you go.
Well, one of my friends, they're all Marquis as well.
Well, you can share with them if you like. We just wanted to give it to you. Just seemed appropriate.
Insight
Okay.
check?
Go for it.
Nope. I don't know shit. Seems completely fine.
Yeah, free. Ha! I eat it. It's really good, right?
It is very good. Yeah. It's
I
juicy.
offer a bite to the lady.
She says, "Oh, I couldn't. I appreciate it, but that's your food. It's okay."
Oh no, I insist, and I like hold up a piece of meat on a fork in her face, kind of a little.
Gobble this haunch with me, my darling.
She looks very uncomfortable and kind of like playfully and reluctantly like bites it off your fork and then is amused with herself for like taking such a risk. She's like, "Oh, that was fun." And then she drops dead. No. Just kidding. That doesn't happen. All right. As dinner winds down, they're starting to serve the dessert course, which are some fine cakes made with some grape jelly. The bell rings again, and now to Walter's point earlier, somebody comes out and says, "Introducing the Grand Commissar, supreme ruler of the Omeron Dominion and its conquest, the slayer of the Sephora dynasty and the false god king,
Slayer.
Hephaestus!" And everyone stands up and woo!
Small ball.
That's my boy.
It's not, he's not actually. He doesn't know your name. Fuck off.
Yeah. As he stands up, and again, there's just like a silence that fills the room. And he begins to speak. His voice is somehow amplified as if by magic, and he says,
As if by magic, or can we just go ahead and make that leap?
"You can make the leap to assume it's
I'm
magic."
leaping. It's magic.
He might just be really loud.
He's just one of those boomers.
Yeah. He says, "My commissars, dukes, counts, knights, and marquises." And at various points, people, when their titles yelled out, clap or shout. "Thank you for coming this evening to pledge loyalty to me and to represent the Omran Dominion and its conquest. Your loyalty and the privilege of being your leader means fills me with the highest amounts of gratitude, and I cannot tell you how lucky I am to have this royal position." Everyone's kind of like, woo! "We have, though this is a joyous day, this is only the beginning. We have a hard future ahead of us. We must bring the prosperity that we've brought into Omran to the rest of the realms. Starting with that country that denied us food, Gideon!" And everyone's like, woo! "Now there are some
bring them some prosperity.
whose banners have been torn from these walls, who have doubted my leadership and our new approach. But let me ask you, are your peasants not more well fed? Has the order and stability that we've brought to this country not provided medicine and warmth and places to stay for all of our citizens?
Has it?
Do you not feel a sense of pride waking up in the Omran Dominion that you haven't felt and your ancestors haven't felt for years?"
I love Schmedding. You are just fucking absolutely nailing it with the sound effects right now. I just want to
the
say,
sound's like spot on.
I don't want to break, but like, goddamn, dude, just nailing it, 100%. He's in the zone. My boy's locked in.
Thank you.
So I say to you, as I accept your pledges of fealty tonight, and I embrace your loyalty, as the devil patron we serve, Asmodeus, embraces your loyalty, this is not the end, but just a beginning of glory and conquest and bringing order to all of Sladia. Thank you. And at that, he takes a seat.
So, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not good at everything. What's the story with the Grand Commissar and his actual rise to power? Like, how did this work? How did he become the Grand Commissar?
So he was the titles were different. They adopted the English titles after the Dominion fell, but he's
essentially like the house that was sworn to Terminus.
He was
descended from Terminus or something. So like he's claiming he's got the claim.
Yeah, it's kind of different questions. So let's start with the first one. How did he come to power? They had a revolt. So he was a prominent lord and Lord Paramount of Anvil Downs, and he served on the king's...
So he already had a legitimate office within the pre-existing government, which was not like a paramount office, but he was a lord.
He was one of the higher lords in the land, yes.
Okay, so it was fairly paramount.
Yeah. And then he staged as... There were basically two things that were happening that were bad. Gideon stopped providing shipments of wheat and food into the country, and Korth had recently discovered a free market economy and began to offer wealth to any artisans that wanted to cross the border and go take their trade there. So Korth was prospering. Gideon stopped shipping food. That created a bit of... it made it harder for the Omeron nobility and people to eat, and it also created a bit of a brain drain where any artisans or people of talent were leaving. So given that tough situation, Hephaestus used that as an opportunity to get those in the nobility who still kind of clung to the old ways to join him in a revolution and overthrew the Sephoras who they felt weren't doing a great job. His claim to why he should be king or whatever is he does claim to be a cousin of the original Bishop Terminus and therefore has the Terminus bloodline.
Okay.
And he had to have made a deal with that big dude sitting behind him, right?
The big dude sitting behind him?
Yeah.
Who's the big dude sitting behind him?
I thought there was a huge, like, devil-looking dude, the first guy who came in.
In
That's-
armor?
They're the same guy.
Oh, it's the same guy.
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so he rolled up
But
in
yeah,
there
bro made a
without
deal with the
ceremony,
devil.
and then
I'm
at some
assuming he
point
made a deal with the devil.
they got ceremonial about it,
Yeah.
which is weird.
And yes, Mary, it is a widely, at this point, known fact that they have made a devil pact with Asmodeus, yes. So that doesn't hurt, to your point.
Some real evil empire shit.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions or anything about the current situation? Or anything I could explain better?
Yeah, what's his fucking problem, bro?
I don't think he has a problem.
Oh, I think he got a real
Where
big
does he
problem.
get off?
First question: who do you think you are?
What'd you say, Mary?
Are peasants better fed now?
Well, you probably have to ask some peasants, but one could argue that they are, yes.
Well, there's fewer of them, I would assume, as well.
Yeah.
So,
Blood
You mean because
sacrifices
the
and
violence
whatnot.
of the uprising?
yeah, I'm assuming that both people died.
Blood sacrifices.
Well, the first thing he did was Grand Commissar Hephaestus said he's going to put massive tariffs on all the other countries unless they lower
And
their
of course,
price of wheat.
Most of the peasants didn't know what a tariff was, so they were pretty okay with that.
Yeah. The reason I was asking about your guy behind him, that was almost prescient, Mary, because there is a guy who comes in and sits behind him in one of those chairs. So, one is occupied by his lady wife, who is wearing a very fine gown of red and black with various onyxes and rubies laced throughout.
I believe the plural of onyxes is onyxi.
Of various onyxi.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Honesties?
Probably
Onyxes.
onyx.
I think it's just onyx.
I think
Yeah,
it is
we're goofing.
And then on the other side, the chair had remained empty, but a gentleman wearing a very simple courtier's outfit of all black, with only one distinguishing note, which is a ruby on the lapel. He's human-looking, with short black hair and a short, face-wide beard. Very stern look on his face, and he just comes and sits behind him as well.
And it's not Mr. Wincott.
It's not Mr. Wincott.
Have we seen Mr. Wincott here?
Yeah.
You haven't yet, but you can make a, I guess,
A
investigate
Wincott
check.
check?
Yeah.
Seven. Actually, not even. 6.
You do not see him.
Okay.
Okay, so after the Grand Commissar sits down, the same page that had announced Hephaestus gets up and says, "The first of our lords of pledged fealty, and an honorable title of Commissar will be bestowed to Victor Myrtul, the noble from the country of Korth." And the room sort of gets there's no cheering or clapping for this one, and people kind of look cross-eyed at each other as Victor Myrtul gets up from his seat and walks up to the front of the dais. There, you see a noble who is sitting near the front, who's wearing like black cleric vestments, with various fiendish symbols down the side of Asmodeus and other hellish figures. Very well decorated cleric gets up with what is a black book that he then
An
that
actual black
opens.
book. There you go.
Yeah, he opens it and puts it on a podium, and then pulls out a ceremonial dagger. You recognize this dagger. Does anyone know where anyone know where you would recognize the dagger from?
Was it
The Sea Vault?
was it from the prison break?
It was
Oh, see,
not the Sea Vault.
was it that we got back from that fucking place in the Holder Heck Mountains?
Yes, the sacrificial
They gave it
dagger.
to Vic-
You gave it to Kalir, but yes. Yeah.
Clear.
So he pulls out the ceremonial sacrificial dagger that you guys had rescued from the Cult of a Million Eyes and hands it to Victor Mertul, who then slices his hand and drips his blood on the black book. It's actually called the dark book, but yeah. As he does that...
The black book better.
Retcon. It's not a black book. As he does that, he tries to look stern, but you can see he begins to shake. He's trying to hold it in, but then he can't. He eventually yells out in pain and falls to his knees as two horns emerge from his head, and his skin turns to a shade of red. A tail spouts out from his back, and he removes his boots as two cloven hooves form on his feet. He's been transformed into a tiefling before you guys.
Dude, it's gonna be way harder for Joel to kick his ass.
Why? Because he's a tiefling?
It's like he got an upgrade. You know, it's like he leveled up.
I think it's a side grade.
He's got
All right.
a side grade.
Nick, can you just stop espousing racism for like one session?
What do you mean? It's like in a
Type
video
things aren't
game
better
where
or worse, they're just different.
Speciesism. They're called species now.
Speciesism. Racism or sub-racism?
Next is going to be Commissar Kalir of Warmount Heights. And at that, Zorlak Kalir comes up. He doesn't transform into a tiefling because he's already a tiefling, but he does the same thing where he cuts his hand with the dagger, drips it on the book, and at that, people clap and cheer. One by one, nobles are called up. Lee, Palmer, Falk, Lawrence, Meadows, Leach, Ayers, all different previously lords, now counts, that were in that Warmount Heights region, including the gentleman you spoke to earlier, I think he was a duke, Duke Dwight, Duke
More
Dwight
like a
Lee,
Duke bag.
yeah,
Eh.
who at one point his name is called, and he gets up, cuts it. As he drips his blood, the whole family that is sitting next to you transforms into tieflings. Yeah. By the end of the ceremony,
like
go ahead,
what
Mary.
percentage of people are tieflings?
Yeah, but at the beginning of the ceremony, the room was mostly human, and now it is mostly tiefling. You're one of the few non-tiefling people in here. Minus a lot of members of the household guard and things. Like
But
their Jory
If you're sitting at a
castles.
table, you've got horns.
Well, no, I was going to say a lot of the families that are there, as part of the entourage, did not transform, but anyone of noble blood that was connected to somebody who signed the book transformed.
So throughout this evening, there had to be a moment or two where everybody's attention went to one thing, right?
Yep.
I would like to seize a moment or two of those moments to. So I just took telekinesis as a feat, which it allows me to cast Mage Hand without verbal or somatic components. It requires both, but I also will use Subtle Spell to X-nay the other one. So I'm literally doing nothing. and I'm going to create that is invisible. It has a range of 30 feet to pluck the poison out of the potted plant and deliver it to a noble that's around me.
Do you want to hit the
And
guy
then-
who's sitting next to you?
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll hit him.
Wow.
And
Fucked up.
then
Fucked up,
take
Nick.
the poison vial and
Way
tuck it.
to draw more
And some
attention to the
bags.
only non-tieflings in the room.
So at one point, like I said, he gets up.
It's gonna hit him at midnight.
He gets up and to pledge fealty. At which point, his immediate food would be unoccupied, and his family is suffering through the pain of the transformation.
Good. Excellent time. Excellent
All
time.
right, just gonna drop it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a stealth check with advantage.
Sure.
Use your intelligence instead of your dex.
Use lucky to.
Or,
actually, can I do?
I guess it's for you. It's charisma. Use your charisma instead of your dex.
Oh man, really shitty. Actually, it's the same if I got an 8, bro.
With advantage, using charisma.
Yeah.
Do you have any points of inspiration?
Oh,
With an 8
okay,
using
that goes up to Oh wait, that's a 14. What's the inspiration do?
Let's you reroll a d20. Wait, what? Wait, how did it become a 14?
Because I use Tides of Chaos, which allows me to reroll a d20.
Okay. So we had advantage, then you used Tides of Chaos. Did you use Lucky too?
Yes, I did.
And then okay, and then you got to a 15. Okay.
And I canceled the verbal and somatic components. So somebody could see the vial moving, I guess. Yeah.
That's why you were making a stealth check, yeah. And that's why it was with advantage because of the situation, and use charisma because it's magic instead of whatever. Okay, so Cassavel, with your good eye, you notice that one of the guards notices the vial and starts to march over, but right before he gets to your table, there's a large pop in the fire, and one of the pieces of metal gets knocked over into one of the noble tables, and he has to run over and deal with that. So he doesn't end up coming over to the vial.
Nice.
Very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky, indeed. Okay. The Duke Dwight is going to come back and eat his meal. They're very proud that they're all now tieflings. Like, you see him come back and give his wife a big hug, and they have 2 children, they grab their hands, and they're like, "We did it, guys, we did it."
Is there another noble? I put 2 in that flower pot. Another noble around within 30 feet?
Well, his wife, or you could hit the family sitting next to them.
Maybe not 2 in a row. Is there a way I can get to another one in a different, slightly different area?
There's a whole bunch of noble families, so and they're going up one by one. So if you just want to hit another one that went up either before or after him, that's fine.
Who's gonna stop?
I'll do that.
Okay. How about we hit House Quinn of Mana Falls?
Welcome.
Get him.
I do the same thing using an invisible hand.
Only this time you're gonna roll better, right?
It's okay. We're not.
Yeah, that's the real thing.
We're just gonna
We
stick
use
with
two
the
different
15.
dice.
It's okay.
Huh?
We're gonna stick with the roll. It's fine. That was all one.
Are you sure?
Yes, that was all.
Kind of bullshit.
Why is that kind of bullshit? It was just one roll for the whole activity.
I don't know. Okay, that's fine. I poisoned two families. That's it. I'm done. 2 people.
You came what you were here to do.
The head of
Yeah. I'm proud of you, Mary.
Yeah.
I say telepathically because I've got Sparky reporting everything to me.
At the end of the signing, Commissar Hephaestus gets up again. This time the imp hops up in his perch on his shoulder once more, and he says again in this booming voice, like, "Again, thank you and your families for joining us. You will now find that the newfound arcane powers that you have gotten by pledging fealty will help us to bring order to this continent and prosper in our conquest. Omeron, moving forward, will be ruled by those of us who wield this power exclusively. And any knight or marquis or soldier or even peasant or slave who wishes to have this power will be given the opportunity if they can prove their worth. Omeron will become a meritocracy, where those who work hard and are loyal to the Empire are rewarded with the same privileges that you and I have today."
Rewarded with shortcuts.
And everyone's sort of like, the peasant thing, they're not like clapping that, but like the rest of it, they're like, yay. He says, before our conquest of Gideon, I will be marching to Korth to sign a treaty with their new ruler, Shamash Omar. Though anyone in my royal court is welcome to accompany me, after the treaty is signed and the border to our north has been protected, we'll turn to the border to our west and make them pay for not shipping us the food that they promised. Woo! Please enjoy. For the rest of the evening, we will have entertainment. He points to the bard. We will have food and drink for all of our loyal citizens. And please come and get your new noble title. We welcome you, and we thank you very much for your service. And at that, he goes off back to his chair, and everyone starts to clap and drink again. And I think Scott might have joined us. He did. Yo. Gonna just have to reconfigure real quick.
Hey.
Yeah. I didn't know if I should go video or not because I don't know if it's gonna mess up your output overlay. I don't know.
Yeah,
It messes up just by having you in Discord. So
yeah,
video's good.
Oh,
go on video, because if you go on video again, for some reason it messes it up again. So yes, see.
There he is.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yo.
There's our boy.
Hey.
How's the car?
Good. Yeah, these new cars, man. Like, the battery wasn't dead, but apparently doing a jump kind of like resets the electronics somehow. I don't know.
So you just had to turn it off and turn it back on?
Pretty much, yeah.
You should. If the battery was not dead, you might accomplish the same thing by disconnecting the battery and then reconnecting it for next time.
Maybe.
Don't tell me what to do.
But I mean, jumping's pretty easy.
True.
Yeah, but if like you don't have another car.
I'll tell Heather.
Yeah, Heather, just disconnect and reconnect the battery.
It's not that hard. You can do it with a pair of pliers.
All right. Guess tell her forget the jumper cables.
Yeah.
Just bring the pliers.
Everybody should have a little sock wrench set in their vehicle, as well as.
Are we level 9 now?
Yeah.
No.
Nice.
Does someone want to? Why I do this reconfigure? Does someone want to catch Scott up on what he missed?
We're level 9.
I just poisoned.
Thanks, Walter.
We went to the feast. We went to the feast outside of Ruda. Saw a bunch of the different noble houses that were there. We went to find out who was there and who was not. But basically all the houses from the
Yep,
Warmont
and
Heights
everybody
area,
did that.
which we had passed through. That was where where the dragons hunt was. They all swore fealty, and using the dagger we found in Holderheck, when we fought the Cult of a Million Eyes, they basically turned them all into tieflings.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like that was
So-
more the book.
Did we swear fealty
Maybe.
to get the keep?
No, we did not.
Dude, why not? How are we going to get a keep? Can't keep having these moral constraints.
You're welcome to swear
so they're
fealty
also
if you
talking
wish.
about. They're also talking about making a truce with Fourth for their border, and then invading.
Gideon.
What's the other one? Fuck. Gideon.
Gideon. Yeah.
Which is interesting because he didn't talk at all about unifying the rest of Gideon.
You mean Omeron?
Omron. He didn't talk about like taking out the rest of the houses. There was Slaughter, Manaleaf, the Midvale Mages, Kruger, Sephora, and Carnet were all houses in Omeron that are like not swearing fealty yet.
If you could send me that list at some point, Nick, I'd like that for my notes.
So,
Like right now, but
Korth has an alliance now?
They're
Korth and
going
Umran?
to. He's going north. He's going north to sign a treaty with them, so that basically that they don't interfere with his march into Gideon.
What's our stance on this?
I mean, the treaty's fine. I don't care about that. I honestly don't even really care about him going to Gideon. I just, don't have a moral objection to what he's done, more so a philosophical objection to how he's doing it.
You don't like the fact that they're
Yeah.
warlocks?
Correct. They're cheating.
He was just handing out superpowers.
Did you guys poison the fruit punch?
Yeah, everybody's dead.
Nice.
I poisoned 2 nobles, just 2. But,
Nice. They probably got really sick.
Well, hopefully they're gonna die at midnight because they're just like low-level guys. But
Hopefully they're going to die at midnight.
at the stroke of midnight, we'll get that XP to get to level 9. And they
There it is.
Nice.
Nice. So, that's what you missed. The ceremony just ended, but there's still like an hour worth of dessert. And I fixed our layout, by the way. There's still an hour worth of dessert and drinks.
Little D&D.
Yeah, but they said like, hey, they're going to go to Korth to sign this treaty and then invade Gideon, and they've established a sort of like warlock tiefling only government.
So
Interesting.
the ones that I have written down that were Ratul, which was noticeably not well liked by the rest of the nobility. I guess Meadows, Quinn, Morris, and Lee. Was that it? Clear?
I'll give you the whole list. I'll put it in the chat. There's like 20 houses. Yeah.
Because those are the only ones that were actively mentioned as being there.
Yeah.
Holloway, Hephaestus, Hume.
What is this, list alphabetized or something?
It's a lot of H names that apparently have aligned with Asmodeus. Hasmodeus.
Nah,
Sucker.
All right. So, during the after dinner cocktail hour, the after party, do you do anything of note?
I go around and talk people up. That's pretty much it. Rub some elbows.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
rubbing.
Who you rubbing elbows with?
Pretty much anybody big I see.
Okay. Well, they're all either like dukes or counts. That's their new title. But you can see there's a Duke Redding of Red Flag. Who looks to be,
Dumb name.
compared to the other guys, a little more like barbarian in nature, and he's spouting his finest animal bones.
Nice.
Which matches his new tiefling visage.
Is she spouting or sporting?
Sporting.
My bad.
No, I said it wrong. But he's just like, you see him finish off a goblet of wine and throw it down on the ground and says, "Another!
Huzzah!
Huzzah!" And when the like servant brings over the wine, he says, "You hear that, servant? If you serve me wine really well, you might be up on that dais next." He takes another big drink.
I'm sure all these guys are
there-
definitely really super into empowering small folk, and that's all very honestly intended and in good faith on their part.
Yes, I'm sure that the
there
standards to hit the marquee level are going to be completely reasonable. Standards of service.
After they announced all that servants can take this deal stuff, are there any servants in this hall that stepped forward to try to take that deal?
No, so I may have explained that poorly. It's not, they can't just take the deal. The whole point is that if they distinguish themselves in some way, that anyone in Omeron, slave, peasant, whoever, will have the opportunity to advance if they distinguish themselves through service.
Also, when's the big march to Korth? Or to Gideon, rather.
Yeah, so they're gonna.
It's the Korth, right? To sign it.
Correct. Korth to sign a treaty. Yep. They're gonna leave in another week or so.
Cool.
Yep.
I wonder if we could sabotage. Well, we don't really have time, but it would be cool if we could sabotage that deal somehow.
Like break all their crankshafts, man. Sabotage their carts.
If only we had a crankshaft expert.
So Remy, when you're rubbing elbows with Redding of Red Hill or Red Flag, sorry, what do you say to him?
I mean, I'm trying to get everybody's general feel on the deal going down and everything that's happening, swearing fealty to the who exactly are they swearing fealty to? Just Omeron, Hephaestus,
And Osmodius.
Yeah, I was wondering
By
if that was
proxy.
specifically mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so trying to get his general feel on it, like if this is something he's being forced into or if this is their general feelings.
He says, like, "Are you kidding me? I got horns! Like, look at these bad boys." He starts
Right.
pantomiming as if he's a ram. He's like, "We're gonna bring." I went from an era where I had a boy king on the throne who was begging every country for forgiveness, apologizing left and right, couldn't even get the money to buy wheat, let those mooks and Gideon walk all over us, not sell us the wheat we need, let Korth take all our talent. Now I got a guy who's going to fight for me.
Those horns do look badass.
Yeah! He says, "Why don't you want some horns?"
Not right now. No thanks. Maybe later.
Yeah. You get some horns, become a noble like me.
Yeah, man. Badass.
To Omeron!
Do a fake cheer back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omeron.
Woo!
Is the guy that was sitting up with Hephaestus still there?
He is. He's just kind of sitting there patiently looking at the room, almost creepily.
Festicizing.
I'm like, it's to Mary and the rest of the crew here. Like, who do we think he is? No formal announcement, no ceremony around him. Yet he gets to sit up with Hephaestus and his wife.
Yeah,
Seems like a pretty big honor.
I also
Interesting.
doubt that he's human.
He could be like a representative of Asmodeus.
Yeah.
Did you guys make like knowledge checks to try to recognize him?
Nope.
So yeah, I'm gonna ask Reddington, whatever his name is, Redding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, hey, who's that guy up there? I didn't hear him introduced.
He goes like he does a little bit of a look around and he's like, his name's Orgosh.
Mm.
Did we recognize Orgosh?
Yeah, that was Durap's patron.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is probably in my notes.
He says he's here.
Interesting.
He works for the big guy.
Yep, called it.
Okay, he's here to make sure everything goes smoothly.
You know it. Everybody has a boss, am I right?
That's right.
Two other things happen that I want to note. Callum,
Yo, dog.
you joked around earlier that you're getting drunk. Are you actually drinking wine?
No,
Okay.
I'm not doing anything in this den of horrors.
So what are you doing?
Mostly glaring at people. I want to say there's a lot of glaring going on.
Okay.
I like
It's gonna be hilarious.
Are you trying any of the apps?
Yeah, I mean, do they have chicken wings?
So while you're glaring, you all notice the Lady Lee who was sitting next to you, who's now standing up. You see blood dripping down her throat, and then moments later, her head gets lobbed clean off.
Oh well, that's
what?
unexpected.
Yeah.
Why did that happen?
You see next to her a sword go through the stomach of her husband, and a burst of radiant sunfire incinerate a line of people right before you.
Holy shit!
Fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is happening?
Well, this is it, lads. This is our big chance. Here we go.
Yeah, it's gonna be my reaction. Like, what the fuck? Trying to look around for what caused that.
Is this
Yeah,
something we
why?
all see, or something that only Callum sees?
So I'm gonna say you all react that way as Callum sees it, but standing in the void in the center of all this carnage is an angelic-looking figure. With again, like he wears the hood, you can't see his face, and two giant angel wings, wielding a large sword, and he just glares back at you, Callum, and says, "Slaughter them all. These are the people that must pay." And then the whole thing disappears, and your visage snaps back to normal. None of that violence happened. It was just a
Thank
vision
you,
that you had.
Jonathan. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Oh,
I
okay.
was worried for
That
a second.
boy is crazy.
Dude, you're really pissing him off, Cal.
He mad. Well, like, what is he wants me to take on the whole fucking room? Like, what's the plan here, John?
Seems like that's the plan. I think is.
That's
I don't know.
that's,
You have divine or flame strike yet? You drop those orbital
I in
strikes?
fact
Holy
do
orbital
not
strikes. Yeah.
have the flame strike.
How many people are there in this room?
There's about 20 noble families, each of which have their own entourage, so probably about 200 people all in all. With servants and the people that live here, all that.
Is Victor Bertrul still here?
He is.
Being a fucking tool.
Again, no one's sitting near.
Greatest swordsman alive.
Yeah. He's
I'm gonna
That's
go.
what I heard.
I'm gonna go sit next to him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's again, no one else is, so the seat's wide open. He, as you sit down, he gives you a sort of like a cockeyed look. He raises a glass. Greetings.
I'll raise a glass in return. Greetings.
He takes a swig. He says, I didn't think to see you here, outside of, I guess, maybe for the tournament.
That would be correct. Surprised you weren't in the melee. Or is that too low for a highborn like yourself?
He says, yeah, I prioritized the joust. Didn't really feel like putting my soul on the line. I had other plans for it.
Literally just gave it away anyway, but okay.
Those are the other plans.
Doesn't seem like you're very well liked here.
You're
Everyone
surprised?
else got a cheer and a clap. You, silence.
I come from Korth. Are you surprised by this?
Of course, they're going to. Then why join up here?
He says, my family was ousted. I need somewhere to go. It's not like I can go back to my hometown.
You know what
To
they
each his
say,
own, I
you
guess.
can't go home.
Yeah. So, like,
So
you said you have a passive history of 13. Like, you would know, prior to the rebellion in Korth, the Myrtuls ruled the country, and there was a very heated lawful evil versus lawful evil fight between those two groups. They frequently warred. It actually, once upon a time, they were more chaotic evil. It started with, like, Viking raiders who would come down into Omeron, but over time they became more tyrants, but they just there was bad blood till the end of that. So, like, the new regime in Korth, I mean, they're disliked for different reasons, but they don't carry that baggage. But there's still just like a natural hatred of Korth in Omeron, especially a Myrtul who, like, it's very possible that these people have ancestors that were killed by his ancestors.
Or that he killed some of them.
Yep.
So it just seems like an odd choice.
He says, well, I don't disagree, but he says, desperate times make for odd bedfellows.
I suppose.
He says, look at you guys. Like I said, you didn't seem like the type to hang out with devils and take noble titles from them and all that, but here we are.
Desperate times.
He
Desperate for revenge.
He raises a glass and will cheers you.
I'll cheers him back.
He says, I did catch some of that melee. You fought really well.
Thank you. That's high praise coming from someone as such as yourself.
He says, can I offer you one tip?
What's that?
The side with your bad eye, you let your guard down sometimes. Bring it up. I'd bring it up a little more. Just be a little more careful there.
Noted.
Maybe try to get a second eye.
Magic eye.
Yeah.
I can
But,
grasp that.
Says, I look forward to our next duel.
As do I. Watch yourself out there, Myrtul.
You as well,
These are,
Caspel.
I wouldn't be too trusting of these folk.
Yeah. Agreed. He's not the joking type. I was going to be like, wouldn't want to turn a blind eye to them. but he wouldn't. That's me. I would make that joke. He wouldn't make that joke. He's just like very sternly like, agreed.
Say. Anyway, I get up and leave after that.
Cool.
Damn it! Now I gotta ask Bruno to bake me an eye.
Well, it would not even take that long or cost very much.
The last thing of note on my end is about, I don't know, 30 minutes in, Lord Kalir comes over to you guys. He's like newly decorated with his like commissar noble symbol and all that. He's on cloud 9, like he's been waiting his whole life for something like this, and he helped orchestrate it, so he's feeling great. He just says like, "My saviors, you made it."
That we did.
He says, "Where's
As did you.
the big gal?"
She decided not to come. Had some stuff to work on.
Didn't feel well?
Something like that.
Okay. Well, hey, if you guys want, like, you see all the banners that are missing from the wall. We're looking for more nobles. I could probably talk to the Grand Commissar and get you guys a keep, like you were promised.
We were promised to keep.
We're just a little hesitant on the selling our souls, becoming tieflings.
Oh, what do you need? Take it from me. What do you need a soul for? What are you doing with it?
I don't know. I might want it later.
That's a problem for future you. Plus, look at this. Look at this. This party, these people, the power we yield. This continent's going to be ours, man.
Wield?
Yeah. Don't you want to be a part of that? Isn't that exciting? You don't have anything to worry about.
That's true, Mary. It'll probably all work out.
I'm not signing no book. I'm not doing that. I'm already blue. I don't need no horns.
This is okay. You sure you don't want to? You're not with the Empire?
Yeah, man. I don't want to sign no book.
We appreciate your patronage, Kalir, but I think we are all it's less about, I think, joining the Empire or not joining the Empire, and more about not being restricted to one keep and then caring for it. It's a lot of work.
Oh, you're telling me. I thought getting this castle was going to be great, but these freaking servants, man, all they do is whine. It's hard to find good help.
Well,
Okay.
Nobody wants to work anymore. That's the problem.
That is exactly, Callum,
true.
you know.
Everybody just wants their stuff handed to them.
Yeah. What's that about? You got to work hard like we did to get here. Am I right?
You just
Right.
got handed superpowers and a keep.
What do you mean? I worked hard for that. I had to find that. I had to get you guys to find that dagger. That was hard
You're
work.
being rude.
Yeah. But I get it. I get it. You guys prefer the life of adventuring.
That's it.
I envy you. I was there once when I was younger. Well, nonetheless, if you ever change your mind, we'll probably have some of these vacancies for a little while. Just let me know. And if you want to come with us to Korth and be part of the treaty signing, Hephaestus said I might even get one of the quills.
I got a
Good for
question.
you.
Oh, damn.
I don't even know what that means.
Why does Commodore not care about unifying the rest of the country? And he's going on to all these other countries.
What country? This country?
Yeah.
Oh, they've been they've been unified, man. What do you mean?
Well, I see only about half of the noble houses are in representation here tonight.
Well, so this is one of several of these ceremonies. We've had one for each region, but yeah, like there's nobles who didn't pledge fealty. They've been killed.
Oh.
He says
Well,
between you and I, we're not really supposed to talk about it, but I've heard that the northeast region is still a little tumultuous, but the rest of the country is, from my understanding, been brought into line.
Good job, Nick. Now you look like a fucking idiot.
I just found out some cool information. What do you mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that makes sense.
All right. Well, nice seeing you guys, and to conquest. Let's take another.
Should have poisoned this guy.
I think he's too high level.
Let's raise a glass to our new Grand Commissar.
To freedom.
To freedom.
To freedom.
Through order.
Peace through power.
Yeah. All right. And at that,
And truck stop penis enlargement pills.
yeah, the party goes on, and the more important people in the room begin to trickle out.
That motherfucker's is trickling.
I say we trickle out well before that.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to be the last people here.
Yeah, that would make us look super lame.
And get out of there well before midnight.
Yeah, that's important.
Which, again, only losers would be there after midnight. Am I right, you guys?
Yep.
Only the peasants trying to earn their way into nobility.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thus concludes the fealty
The dinner
pledging
party?
ceremony. Yeah.
Well, that was a lot less contentious than I thought it was going to be, so that's pretty cool. I guess.
Pretty unnerving.
Yeah, seeing all those people turn into tieflings.
Yeah.
Is that unnerving?
Runa, you would have loved this party.
Yeah, I feel like based on the reports that Runa received from Sparky, she's very pleased with her decision to not come. I don't think she would have been able to restrain herself.
Yeah. There you go.
So what happens the next day? So we go to sleep?
Well, at midnight, Nick, you suffer some adverse effects from that pork loin. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you got your hotel at the Red Roof Inn.
Oddly enough, the roof is green, so... Yeah, so, sounds like the Northeast is still standing somewhat strong, or at least there's some sort of resistance there. Doesn't sound great for slaughter, though. They were what, Southeast?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are our thoughts on all this? Like, are we getting involved?
I mean,
Or
I
is
feel
it-
fairly obligated here, considering.
Runa, I mean, yeah, Runa's all in on trying to stop, if nothing else, the invasion of Gideon. But really also trying to topple this new government would be of primary interest to her.
Yeah, I'll bet she likes being wait, did you say topple or... Never mind.
So, I assume, Runa, that you still want to go and save your mentor.
Yes. Yeah, that is the plan, but we also have that sit down with the shadows in, what is it, a week?
Yep.
Yeah. And it sounds like maybe if you want to resist this government, the Northeast would be the best place to start looking for ways to do so. It's possible we should warn Gideon that there's an invasion coming their way.
I was going to say, this Gideon's probably unaware of this, although there are quite a few people here that know. Wonder if there's any moles.
I feel like they would have spies. Like,
I feel like there's a good chance they might already know, but it definitely wouldn't hurt to try and get a message out.
We've kind of deprioritized Bernard and Cassandra, but Bernard would definitely be of the mindset too of what you're saying, Cassavell. Like, he's from Gideon. If they're going to be invaded, they're probably clueless. It's just that they're nice people, but they're not really big on the whole cunning and guile elements of running a country.
Too noble.
Yeah.
Cass also turned into a tiefling at some point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So her family must have.
Oh yeah, I was about to say,
In
but
the
apparently
Black
that
Book.
happens if just your family signs up. So that at least makes sense.
So,
Oh.
Cass, who's Cass's house?
She says she was sent over to the Midvale Mages at a very young age, but there were rumors that she descended from Omeron nobility.
Well, sad to say that someone in your bloodline has.
Immediate family. The examples we saw suggested it would only have to be immediate family.
Does that also mean that their souls are forfeit to Asmodeus?
Horrific question. I was wondering that.
Yeah. So I think they're basically all warlocks. Like, and yes, it's at the family level.
Well, that sucks for her.
Well, yeah, but
how
you get
can
you get a free extra line if you do the family plan. So it's pretty cool if you think about it.
Free extra line on your Eldritch Blast.
Exactly.
So the Midvale Mage Academy, they are still holding out from joining Omeron.
They physically moved.
Oh.
Like, they moved. You guys saw their school
In the sky.
in the sky moving.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I knew it was floating.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was moving.
Yeah, I thought it was just above Day's End.
So it was. And again,
Valorant.
it was probably not communicated well. But when you guys took the potion of teleportation, one of the last things you saw was it beginning to move towards Anacreon.
Well, maybe they'll stop sending Runa cease and desist letters.
Yeah, definitely not high on their priority list anymore.
Do you guys think any of these other countries would get involved? Maybe help Gideon? Like Anacreon?
I don't know. It's where Runa's family is from, even though she grew up in Days End.
Runa and Casvel, you have history, correct?
Yep.
Give me history checks, please, both of you, to answer Remy's question.
All right.
19.
26.
You're probably pretty against tyranny, I would imagine.
Yeah. So I'll give you the whole layout.
So they're like lawful neutral, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm going to go from left to right, or from
Okay.
west to east. Holderheck Mountains, super lawful good. They have a federation of different clans, but they're mostly internal. Like, outside of protecting against the Lich and Waste, they don't venture outside their mountains much, and they do trade. So Lich and Waste and trade, that's about it. For Gideon, farmers worship Paylor, have gotten involved in disputes before, but it really depends. Like, there needs to be a pretty strong, compelling moral reason. Korth, we just heard, is, being approached for a treaty. They are largely, like, libertarian, early colonial America, like, free trade, free market. They have a Confederate government. very small federal government. It's a lot of local power for each of their like 6 regions. Neverith, all similarly, doesn't really have a strong standing government. They have principalities. There is like a council that rules them all. Very pro freedom, very pro like liberty, but they also don't get involved. Years ago, literally hundreds of years ago, they got involved in a dispute in Anacreon, and to this day, Anacreon kind of hates elves because of it and kills elves. So like, they sort of try to learn their lesson and stay out of that. Anacreon historically had a treaty signed with Omeron. They're also more like to Joel / Cassville's point, based on order and law. They have a republic but in the Epic group, Gavin actually negotiated a truce when the Epic group worked for Omeron, and they signed a treaty, which to your knowledge still holds. And then the Wildlands are the Wildlands. I think I covered everything. I don't know if any of that information helps your question, but that's the sort of landscape.
Is this treaty with Korth basically, like Korth are they going to directly get involved, or are they just allowing Omeron to move through their area and shit?
You don't really know the details, but you could find out.
Do we know why they want Gideon? Like, is this just a land grab? Or
Because
is it...
Gideon didn't sell them food.
It's a food grab.
Beyond for their famine and just general expansionism, I'm guessing.
My guess would be if they're relying on Gideon to provide them wheat, they probably don't have enough fertile land to grow their own. So they invade Gideon to take their supposedly fertile land that they were just being stingy with to grow their own wheat. So to Steve's point, yes, land grab. Old hatreds and land grab.
Well, you don't grab land if there isn't an old hatred to sell it, I'll tell you.
Should have got more for their souls.
If you gotten wheat for your souls, then you wouldn't have to be going to war right now, bro.
Yeah, it seems easier.
Yeah.
We like to renegotiate. Can we sell our souls for some wheat? 12 bushels of barley, please.
Where was that wine from? Was that from Omeron?
Yeah,
Spot in Omeron?
Anvil Downs has volcanoes that some of which are dormant and used for vineyards.
Sounds like maybe they should have stopped growing wine or grapes or whatever they're using for their wine and should have been growing wheat.
But wine is like decadent.
And it grows in an arid region. Wine likes dry.
Well, wine you don't grow wine.
Right, grapes like dry.
You could always eat the grapes.
True.
That is true.
Why would you eat grapes when you could turn them into wine?
Well, there you go, Runa. There's a place to start with messaging.
Yeah.
Hephaestus and Anvil Down so worried about the wheat not coming from Gideon, they refuse to grow wheat in their own fertile lands.
Buy some campaign ads.
Grand Commissar Hephaestus.
He says he's for you, but what do we really know about him?
So what's next on our docket? Like this
Your meeting. Sit down.
I mean that's in like a week. I guess there's nothing in the meantime. Like going to get Ratchet would take longer than a week.
We were talking about it earlier, and basically anything that we wanted to do outside of that was going to take longer than a week to get there and back, even if we used the mirrors to travel.
Yeah, so we just gotta warn Korth some way.
Not Korth. Korth, I don't think we need to warn Korth of anything. Gideon we need to warn.
We need to warn Gideon.
Yeah.
They're leaving to sign the treaty after the sit down in terms of a timeline perspective.
Okay.
We should have Runa come and look at that brazier, though.
Oh yeah.
Since you guys you weren't
Yeah.
able to get anything from the communication, like the verbal description.
Could do that.
Cool. You want to go look at it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Make
What's
a
it, Arcana?
make an Arcana check. Have advantage on that check.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've been thinking about it all night.
Well, I got a 28 in that case.
Okay, boom. So, like I mentioned earlier, these sigils they are generally to the schools of magic that involve planar travel, but rather than teleport to somewhere, they are weakening the wall between the planes, specifically for this plane and the Nine Hells. So, you would imagine that, like, summoning, for instance, like if you were to summon a devil in this area would probably be easier because the wall's weakened.
Interesting. It's weakening the barrier between the material plane and Baitor.
Yep, the Nine Hells of Baitor.
That sounds bad.
Well, I mean,
Like a
if you're on the
bad thing.
side of the devils already,
It would explain all these imps and whatnot we see all over the place. They would have a much easier time summoning them as servants, I assume. Makes sense.
Yep.
Sounds like maybe we need to start looking into weapons that may be more adept at slaying fiends. I have a feeling that before long,
Hmm.
we're going to be facing more than a few.
It's true. It's a good point. I know certain materials are more effective. I'll look
You should
into-
do some research.
Yeah.
They probably have a really good fiend library in Omeron. So some
They
knowledgeable about 'em.
probably do.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yes, they do.
fairly certain about that.
So you guys got a week of downtime.
We should spend the time doing some research on fiends.
I'm gonna get a little bit of crafting done. If I have
Yeah,
to.
Runa, if you have the time, I would love for you to break down random magic items that I buy so that you can increase my lucky rabbit's foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Runa, could you take a look at my sword as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a time constraint.
Oh, and Runa, can you?
Well, I'm kidding because I don't have a sword. All my weapons are imaginary.
Your shield's not imaginary.
Bruna is always happy to
Not a
look at
weapon.
anyone's gear and improve it if possible.
So
Actually, I don't even have the
No.
money.
I just want to talk to. I would like to find a way to fashion a belt out of dragon hide. The dragon hide we have.
It's
Yes.
really just it's just to look cool.
100%. It has
Dragon
nothing to
Hide
do with
belt.
being able to better focus my key through it or anything like that.
I have that item on my list.
Is that so?
Yeah. I actually had that one from back before they changed all the rules for crafting and everything. Because we have the black dragon hide specifically because it still required special ingredients. That's cool. But yeah, I think it's an uncommon.
I think the plus one's uncommon.
Yeah. Which we've got plenty of quiddity and gold. That's not an issue. The real limiting factor for crafting magic items for me is time at this time at the moment. But so, like common stuff. So if we've got a week of downtime, I'm gonna make a tool check for crafting time to craft a dose of perfume of bewitching, which is a common consumable wondrous item. So the time and cost is cut in half. from 5 days to 2.5 days, and then take a 10 on my tool check. Using the house rule brings that down to half again, so 1.25 days of work and 50 quiddity to make a dose of citrus bergamot cologne for Remy, which
Oh, nice.
when you use a magic action to apply it to yourself, the effect lasts for 1 hour, and for that duration, you have advantage on charisma, deception, and persuasion checks made to influence a creature within 5 feet.
Wow, that is really good.
For the meeting.
What's it called? Citrus something?
Well, that's just it's called a perfume of bewitching. Citrus bergamot is what I just decided it is scented like.
Okay, perfume of bewitching. I will put that down.
Yeah.
Thank you. This will come in handy.
1.25 days to do that.
I'm gonna sit really close to them. Actually, 5 feet's not that close.
But you're gonna smell great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
You guys
also gonna do another common item in that same time, a dread helm that I am designing for Mr. Terminus.
Sweet. That's
Which
a sigil.
It doesn't do anything special. It just darkens the face and has an illusionary red, like glowing eye effect. That's all.
Sweet.
Sounds right up his alley.
Jason's trying to limit our magic items and sitting here watching.
I'm not trying to limit anything.
Next campaign, not this one.
Oh,
this
yeah,
one's
yeah.
still as Day's End.
Yeah.
These are all
We'll
like
just-
minor things.
Yeah, we'll just need an artificer in the next group.
Yeah, seriously, what are you gonna do about an artificer, bro? You fucked.
Kill them at level 1.
Yeah, and then a new artificer's just gonna show up.
Comes from a long line of artificers, whole family of them.
And he's already told us everything about each other, so you can skip that awkward getting to know you phase.
There you go.
Oh, you know my brother Chuck? $1.
And I'm here to... Never mind.
I'm here to make lots of magic items.
I'm here to fuck up the economy.
Yep. Cool.
I spend the week training. Somehow, I don't know. Especially focusing on the left side. Make sure I expand my focus more on that side.
You notice there's some truth to what he was saying. Now that you're paying attention to it.
Of course there was. That son of a bitch.
Jeez.
It was really nice of him to tell you, though.
It's true.
Did you tell him that you were in? That son of a bitch?
No, I did not.
I'm not gonna lie, we all kind of saw it. It's just Victor Matul was the only one who
His
said
eyes.
something.
You this whole time?
Yeah, you don't have a peripheral on that side of your body, man.
So there's a flashback to him entering the melee and like being really confident, and you guys being like, "Should I tell him?" It's like, no, it's gonna be really embarrassing.
Do we tell him? Or... What are we doing about this?
Luckily, most of them came from the right side.
Yeah.
A couple of, so Remy, you said you were gonna research fiends.
I mean, I'm not the smartest one. I mean, I might be able to. I don't know if reading books is really going to be good for me with my very low intelligence. A better way for me to do it would be to try to talk people up at bars and stuff. Try to get it directly from people rather than if somebody else wants to research, somebody who's better at it.
Okay. Make an investigate check used in charisma instead of intelligence.
All right. Investigate. So it's just a straight +5. I should have had a dice roller pulled up.
You good?
13. It's not very good.
Mess with your charisma and your bard bonus.
Oh, no, I didn't count my bard bonus. So it only goes up by 1, so it'll go to 14.
All right, I'm gonna give you. Two pieces of info. So, number one, the best, if any knowledge about fiends or the occult or an occult library, like hands down, people say now Commissar Wooten, who was the priest that oversaw the ceremony. They have the best, like that's what they're known for. He is the like occult advisor to the throne. So his family and their castle has a ton of stuff.
Commissar Wooten?
Yep.
As in woot woot?
Yep. It's actually an homage or allusion or whatever to the portrait of Dorian Gray. Wooten was the guy who corrupted him.
I'm going to make a couple rolls for breaking items down to quiddity.
Gotcha. But just real quick, the other piece of information, because you had asked about it earlier, Remy, is the treaty with Korth is it largely to, it's based on trade. So they're like, Korth's sort of like mantra is, friends with all, allies with none. They're very weak right now. They don't want any sort of war. So they just survived a rebellion and like barely got on their feet. So they're basically they also have prosperous crops and agriculture and a good fishing trade. So it's a trade based pact where in exchange for being allies, aka not getting invaded, they will give them tobacco and fish and livestock, etc.
Omeron's going to be using Korth weapons in Gideon.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But
Guns
they're
and
getting paid
ships.
for the produce, right? It's not like they're just taking them.
Yeah, but they'll like give them favorable rates, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I will share that with the party.
Cool.
Especially Commissar Wooten probably is the best place for occult knowledge.
And so his original hold was near the Omron City, but he is now the commissar of that northeast region that we said was tumultuous, which is honestly just a sheer coincidence, but that's the area that he now has been promoted to rule.
Northeast, okay.
Back to Runa. Sorry, Runa, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'm just making some rolls.
Gotcha.
I got to hit a DC 20. Failed on the animated shield, but got it on the You're Out of the Pact Keeper, so I'm going to make a check for a multiplier. Standard, so it's a rare item. 5d100 times 10. Okay. Hold on, I gotta... that. It's got loud all of a sudden, sorry about that. $208 quiddity. Get rid of that.
What'd you roll in the D100?
The quiddity breakdown amount for a rare item is 5d100 times 10.
Okay. So what'd you roll in the 5D100?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's So 5D100 was 208 times 10 is 2080. Forgot the times 10. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seemed very low.
Yeah. Now up to 7,000 liquidity.
Nice. I legitimately don't remember. What was the cost to upgrade your guys' stuff?
Anything beyond, so rare. So the materials cost for a rare item baseline is 2,000 gold. Uncommon's like 200, common is 50. But then then you start getting up to very rare, it's 20,000. When legendary is 100,000. And so upgrading from one rarity to another would just cost the difference between those tiers. So
But
going from an uncommon to a rare would be 1,800 quiddity.
Runa, Mary, and Remy have specific... I don't know if did you ever get your information, Runa? You guys have specific contingency envelopes for investing quiddity in an item. And then I have to make one for Callum, too. He should have one, too, but I never got around to making one.
I forgot about
Well,
that.
it's going to be the shield eventually, right?
Yes.
Because you already made the shield kind of a custom thing.
Yes.
Mine's the tool, right?
Correct.
All-purpose tool?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to upgrade that at some point. I have that in mind, but I forgot about the contingency thing. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all the breaking down I was going to do for now, unless anyone has anything else. Joel, did you want that eye?
Not just yet.
Okay. So, other than that, I'm going to spend some time making a little bandolier for Sparky with a quick release mechanism, so he can do like bombing runs with Alchemist Fire is the goal eventually. Make a little leather belt with like some hooks for Alchemist Fire, and it pulls a ripcord and they just drop.
Did you guys share the chat?
Find out. Like whenever we leave a city, it's on fire.
I'm not necessarily saying I have immediate plans to use it. It was just a fun idea I had.
Yeah, I'll believe that when we leave this place and it's not in flaming wreckage.
Did you guys share in the chat that somebody attached fire to a bat, which then roosted on a fuel tank and exploded the fuel tank?
No, I shared in the chat that the United States government was developing a weapon to deploy swarms, thousands of bats, each individually loaded with an incendiary device, which would then be deployed over enemy centers of population, which would then roost in all of the buildings on their first night in this new strange location with no place to go, and would then be detonated in those locations and burn down an entire city. And the only reason that we stopped developing that weapon system is that we aced the nuclear weapon system during that same period.
They were literally bombs. They were like bomb-shaped things that would drop from planes filled with bats. Each bat had a packet of napalm with an incendiary thing on a timer. So the bat would just like fly down, roost somewhere, and then like a few hours later just like burst into flames and start fires.
Right, so you'd high altitude airdrop a huge swarm of bats, and they would descend to the ground over a giant area and just burn the whole place that night.
Wild. Thank you for sharing.
Most evil thing that Runa is now going to replicate.
Yeah,
Well,
we're not stealing.
Because Runa was talking about essentially having Sparky become one of those bats, and I was like, I've read about this!
So we just need more
I don't want
Sparkies.
kamikaze Sparky. I don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, but Sparky's smart enough to leave the incendiary packets behind.
Yeah, she just drops the bombs.
But yeah, so the plan was that the United States was gonna, instead of deploying nuclear, like instead of waiting for nuclear weapon development to finish, we were just gonna burn down the entire Japanese defense by bat bombing them.
Yeah.
And it's probable that the weapon system would, not go understood or discovered in the amount of time that it would take to kind of turn the tide of things. It's also, there's a major question as to how one would counteract swarming bats roosting.
Yeah.
Harm Soundburst, obviously.
It would have been really effective deployed against in the Pacific Theater because all their buildings are like wood and paper.
So if Runa figures out nukes before this plan goes into effect, we won't need the bats
Sparky will be
anymore.
safe. I just picture Sparky with like a bomb vest, just giving like this really cute like dog look, and Runa just hitting the TNT thing. And just...
The idea is a strafing run.
Okay.
That's the idea.
I'm also going to say during that week of downtime, you guys hear the talk of the town is that the Lord Lee and his wife, as well as one of the other lords, Quinn, dropped dead in their sleep the night of the ceremony.
Awkward.
And everyone's pointing the finger at...
there.
Yeah, everyone's pointing the finger at House Palmer, who has a standing rivalry with both of them. They think it was a political move for Palmer to advance themselves. And they're kind of waiting to see how the new government reacts to that. But nothing official has happened yet.
Dude, I was waiting for them to blame like the peasant servants at the ceremony, and just like all the peasants were slaughtered as a result.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the government decided to make an example of them.
Also, on an unrelated note, a lot of the noble families are now hiring additional wine tasters if anyone wants a new job.
To be fair, there are worse jobs.
Cool.
Like they would pay somebody to wine test?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't just have one of their servants, slaves do it.
Well, if you're noble enough, then you can afford to have someone taste your wines for you and tell you whether or not they're any good, in addition to,
That's called
just
sommelier.
not dying. Yeah, and then you get two birds with one stone, that shit.
So, that's the week. All right. Remy Restwell. So, you're aware that they told you to circle back to the Bronze Stag in about a week. There's going to be a sit-down between Falrus Foul Longtopple, who is who oversees the clan from the shadows that is in both Anvil Downs and the capital. He's an Ilion, or Ion for short, which is roughly translates to boss. And then Elwyn Leatherbelly Fatgrove, who is Baron Durap's Ilion, who is coming from the Warmount Heights region in Days End, which he oversees. I made a Days End Old Fashioned, and
Nice.
that's Remy's drink.
Dude, I need to.
Spherical ice cubes.
I don't know if it's a miracle. It's just a circular ice cube. What's a miracle ice cube?
Spherical.
Oh, spherical. Oh, okay. I was like, what is this miracle ice cube?
One of those ones that you like press into a sphere. Those are cool.
Yeah.
So by tomorrow, Jason, I'm going to put the group loot up, but we do have a couple magic items on there I don't think we broke down yet. Like a hand crossbow, I don't think we broke that down.
Well, if we want to retroactively break them down after, that's fine.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. So Remy Restwell, you know that Jan Foultopple and Leatherbelly are sitting down in about a week at the Bronze Stag. You are as a Kelkep, you're not typically invited to the actual meeting itself, but you're welcome to be present on the like your presence has been requested to be there outside of the meeting place, so that you're there for the ruling.
I don't get to say anything? That's bullshit.
Well, you're not a made guy, so you don't get to come into the room itself.
All right. What about my party?
They're welcome to come to the stag as well if you guys want to wait.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna join my friend as much as I'm able. Stay by his side.
Nice.
Speak in his defensive ask.
Awesome.
All right. So, the stag itself has a bar. It's a very so that's where they're asking you to come for the meeting. When you walk in, there's black marble flooring, nice brown paneled bar that stretches around Mix and L with a nice marble bar top. Lots of bronze accents, a bronze tiled ceiling, and the for whatever reason, like when you walk in, the whole place smells of sandalwood. And there is Mr. Foultopple. Here. Fowler's Longtopple. He goes by Foul. He is an older halfling, so he's somebody who's a little bit of a legend within the Shadows community. Like, he's earned his stripes for sure. Spent lots of time in and out of dungeons, and just somebody who has been known to really believe in the Shadows and be loyal to the organization. He's there with a couple.
Old halfling?
He's older, yes.
Man, he must not have got sucked off.
He must not have got sucked off. He's there with a couple of his seer brands, who are younger, up and comers. And as soon as you walk through the doors of the bar, he outstands or stretches out his hands in friendship and says, "Remy, welcome."
Jester, I changed my clothes to very, very dressy. My whatever the armor is that changes, and
Nice.
go up and whatever gestures would be appropriate.
He gives you a big hug and a pat on the back, and says, just like, "Thank you so much for." I have to switch the Irish accent. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for hearing me out.
No, it's only fair. I appreciate your loyalty to the organization.
When he's within 5 feet of me, he smells my nice perfume.
Yeah, what's the perfume do, Steve?
It gives Remy advantage on all charisma, deception, and persuasion checks made to influence a creature within 5 feet of him for 1 hour. It's a single dose.
Because he smells so fucking good.
Citrus bergamot.
Nice. He definitely gets a whiff of it.
Does he like it?
Yeah, he's like, smells. He seems impressed. He's not gonna he's not gonna comment on it, but he seems impressed.
Yeah, in his head he's thinking it. He's like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that smells really nice."
Maybe
Yeah.
Runa's got a career in perfumery.
Yeah.
He's a stankologist.
There's a
So,
within the.
these are my associates, and I introduce the party behind me.
He says, "Oh, the famed adventurer or the famed heroes of fortune. I'm ashamed to say I lost some money on ye in the betting pits the other day."
Bad choice.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah, well, not sorry for ye. Gotta confess, I didn't initially know that Remy was part of the group, or else you would have had all my money. Though we made a killing off that game.
That's good.
Game. What do you mean? You made a killing off the game?
Yeah, the betting pools. We took a lot of action. He brings you to a lounge type area where there's some nice leather chairs. A lot of them are smaller in stature for halflings. By a roaring fire with a big, very nice oak coffee table. And he says, "Please sit. Can I get you anything while you're waiting?"
No, thank you. I'm just here for the decision.
All right. How about you all? Anything to drink or eat?
Yeah, I'll have some wine.
I'll have an ale.
Okay, nice. We'll get you an ale. Would you like Omeron Vintage or Neverith?
Oh,
Well,
never.
Neverth sounds nice.
Neverith wine? For both of you?
Yeah.
All right. We'll have that coming right out to you. He takes out an ivory comb and brushes back his graying hair, and just walks around, also wearing a nice courtier's outfit, and gestures to the halfling behind the bar to get you guys a pair of wines. Castival, Callum, you guys want anything?
I'm good, thanks.
We're good.
Okay.
Do you have anything for hallucinations?
I tell everyone beforehand, if shit goes south, I'm gonna go invisible and run.
Is that gonna happen? That's not gonna happen.
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos lately, man. It could. Technically, I did capture a made guy, even if we didn't kill him. It's like when Ralphie killed that house. I can't say how he's a whore. Whore.
Who are?
Yeah.
Yep.
Then Tony kind of gets a little bit of backlash because he smacks him, even though he's the boss. He smacked a made guy, so he was still in the wrong. And I'm not even a made guy, let alone a boss.
It's true. I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes after you guys sit down, you guys get your wines, and you get your wines quickly. But 5 or 10 minutes after you sit down, you see another entourage of halflings walk into the bar. And there is Elwyn Leatherbelly Fatgrove. He's a big, very rotund halfling, has quite a large stomach. And he has brown hair and a ponytail, wearing a leather jacket and some slacks, and he again has a couple of his captains with him. He turns to the one guy and he says, "Wait in the bar." Fowlers comes out, recognizes him, says, "This is Elwyn," and gives him a big hug similar to how he did to you, Remy. Pats him on the back. And he says, Come, let's go in the back room and talk." And they both venture back to a room adjacent behind the bar. There's 2 big oak doors that they close shut. They brought most of their entourage with them, but there's a couple guys that are sitting out here just to keep watch and stuff. All right. So
I guess they are out of view when they're in the back.
Correct.
Okay. You know what? I can't read lips anymore, anyways.
Well, I was going to say, Remy, give me a perception check, please. Actually, everyone can do it.
Yep.
Is it sight based?
It is not. It is hearing based.
7.
12.
Yeah, I rolled a 2, so I'm not going to get it.
What'd you get on your 2?
I got 21.
Okay.
I mean, my passive perception is 18. My actual perception is... Was that minus... Yeah, it's only like a 10 or 11. My character sheet's all messed up.
Okay. Didn't we determine that you can't roll less than your passive?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the one ruling is. but yeah. I mean, my passive is 18.
Well, Mary, you definitely hear her. So, over the roaring fire, you hear the conversation that's taking place behind the doors. And I'm gonna try to do a bad Irish accent and switching back and forth between the two NPCs. So bear with me. But he says it starts out with Falris Longtopple, who's hosting. And he, they have some pleasantries. How was your carriage ride up here? I got stuck around this creek. Oh yeah, that happens every time. That kind of stuff. But after they dispense with that, he says, so we've got a bit of a situation here, don't we, Leatherbelly? And Elwyn says, like, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, these your boy, your Seerbrand, Drap. What's this him becoming a baron? Draws attention to us. And now these letters we get saying that he's betraying the guild, killing our up-and-coming recruits. It's completely unacceptable. And Elwyn says, I'll tell you what's unacceptable. The fact that I'm even being brought here to talk about this. Like, none of these people are Durry. They're not in the guild. They're pigeons like everyone else. We can do with them as we please. And how do you even believe this letter? A month before that, I got a letter saying some guy was the Lord of Oberon, some Bishop Terminus. Do we believe that one too? And he says, well, if you don't believe the boy, maybe we should bring him in here to speak for himself. He's unacceptable. He's a Kelkip. He doesn't get to come to a conversation like this. You know the rules. And Falris says, there's some things that are higher than the rules, Elwyn. He killed some up-and-coming recruits. He betrayed the guild, as the allegation goes. And one of those recruits was also my cousin, may I remind you. My wife's sister's son. We have some explaining to do here. So, at that, he nods. Well, he doesn't. You don't hear. He nods. You can't hear that though. And they open up the doors and they gesture towards Remy to come in.
Okay, stand up and walk in.
So Leatherbelly is he's glaring at you something fierce. He's not happy. And Fowl just says, like, it's all right, Remy, it's all right. And they close the doors behind him. Just tell us here, tell it true. What happened? What'd you find? What'd you discover about this Baron Durap?
So I lay out on the table, I pull out of my pocket all of the original correspondence, which I made I transcribed in the letter to them, but I pull out the originals.
Seats.
Which I have written here. It says clear evidence against Durap. Same for, and the people he killed. Why I say I found the bodies of Seamus, Rowan. Is this Timus? Who was known as Carrie Crankshaft, were found dead in his mansion, as well as evidence that he was sacrificing up-and-coming recruits. He was skimming off the top, which I produced the ledgers. He was cooking the books and framing these up-and-comers, much like he did myself. Say this correspondence here is between him and, is it Hephaestus? I think it's between him and Hephaestus, talking about how he's going to betray the guild.
The whole time, Falris is going like,
So yeah, these are personal ledgers. They were hidden within his heavily guarded safe, which detail his embezzlement and his fraudulent dealings. Say this is undeniable evidence of his misappropriations that have harmed not only the taverns but the guild as a whole.
Make a persuasion check.
I make sure I am within 5 feet of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm a space invader. Personal
You
space
face around
invader.
the room so they all get a little left.
Stand in front of the open window. Spread that shit around.
Fuck, man. So I rolled a 7, but I can't roll below a 10. Let me see, where is it?
Can if you really try.
Yeah, anything below a 10 becomes an 11. So 11 plus my persuasion is also 11. So 22.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Nice. Say I Flash of Genius.
Yeah, I'll double check. I think that's what Silver Tongue does, but I'm going to double check.
So you lay out a fairly convincing argument. And Elwin, like, he's definitely convinced. It's pretty clear, the evidence is pretty damning that his boy done fucked up.
Done fucked up.
And he basically, at this point, all he has to stand on is, like, the decorum of, you know, the norms of the shadows. So he just goes like, fuck this! I gotta be brought in and accused of my clan doing things by this Kelkip. And again, Fowris says like he was skimming off the top. That's your money. You should be getting that. And look at these guys he killed. Some of our best earners. He says, well, I don't know. Fine. Some punishment is due. We'll tax him. What do you think? Take some of his earnings. He says, Leatherbelly says, like, Remy, what do you think? Or I'm sorry, Fowler says, what do you think? And Leatherbelly says, you asking him? He's like, I think he's earned it. What should we do, Remy?
So he clearly plans to betray the guild for Omeron. He should be expelled as I was.
Make a persuasion check.
Sell it to him, baby.
Excommunicado.
One's 29.
Okay, wow. Yeah, so the point of betraying the guild, it's a pretty damning one. You can tell that Leatherbelly's upset, but he can't argue with you. You're making a really good point. And
I smell delicious.
And you smell delicious, and you have Foul on your side, who he doesn't want to mess with. He says, expel him. I guess that's only fair. But I can't be seen as weak as betraying one of my own guys. We have to make this look like something it ain't.
So you don't need to make an example out of this dude? I feel like, isn't that what you're supposed to do in these situations?
Fowler says, I want to know about you. How do I know you're not in on all this? Did you know anything about this? To which he looks clearly upset and says, I knew nothing. Or else I would have, I'm going to steal Walter's thing, made an example out of him myself. Make an insight check, Remy.
Not good. I rolled a 3, and my insight is not particularly good, so it's a 3.
Okay. You can't tell.
Jack of all trades, it's a 4.
You can't tell if he's lying or not. He may have known about it. He may not have.
Well, I speak up on his behalf and say I went through all of the correspondence in the mansion, and I did not see any evidence that Leatherbelly was involved.
He likes the fact that you stuck up for him in front of Fowl. He feels good about that, and you're kind of like you're restoring face, which is what you want to do in these situations. So then Leatherbelly says, "Well, then what should we do about this?"
Say, I mean, do with him what you will, but at a minimum, he needs to be expelled from the guild. And me, who was personally harmed by his lies, should be restored to my guild status.
Make a persuasion check again.
That really a tough sell?
Get him a pair of cement shoes. Throw him in the river.
Yeah, so that's a 30.
Okay.
Would have been a natural one there, Steve, but the advantage got a 19.
Hell yeah, citrus bergamot, baby.
I just want to see Runa doing like a Dr. Squatch soap style commercial for citrus bergamot. Fowler's Longtopple puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "I agree." So Leatherbelly kind of stews it over a little bit, looks upset, but says, "All right, look, I cannot betray one of my own guys. I know he fucked up, but my other Kelliers, they're going to be wondering if they're next, or if I'm siding with you over them. I have to maintain loyalty. So if someone's going to take him out, it has to be one of you guys."
Good news!
I can probably convince my allies to do that. Good news is he's already captured. Although that, I guess for appearances, that wouldn't be the best look.
This is all right. That sounds good. We'll have you guys, let him go. And then I can tell my people, Omeron forced my hand and, let you back in the guild. That I still don't believe it, that he was a turncloak, but, nothing we can do in this scenario.
Fuck would it take to sell you that, man?
Yeah, isn't like all the extensive evidence enough?
He knows he's a turncloak. He's not betraying. He's not going to openly get one of his own guys. It looks like because another family told him to, it makes him look weak. So he's saying that he's letting Remy and this other dude take him out instead. Then it looks like a hit from another family.
Makes sense.
Just so long as it doesn't like start a fucking war.
Well, yeah. He would be the one that would be the guy that would be in charge of whether it starts a war or not. So,
So are they, when they let him go, are they going to expel him, or are they just planning on him getting taken out?
Yeah, they just want you to take him out, basically. Do their dirty work for him.
Do a
Well,
knife?
everyone thinks that he's still a made man.
Yeah, the concern is he's very slippery, and now with his new allegiance, he's going to be hard to get to as soon as he is out of here.
Yeah.
He is going to, I don't know, run right to Umaran, where he's going to be very protected.
Or back to the guild, because they're not saying that he's not a made man.
Yeah, or it still kind of appears as if he's in the guild.
Make a persuasion check again.
Like, we could just kill him right now. Isn't he here?
Yeah, you're pulling the Scott Evil.
I'm just saying.
like I have a gun. He's right here. I can just go kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
God.
at 25, but it's that's a concern. Is like, if we're not going to publicly expel him, he's going to, for all appearances, be in the guild. Like, what happens if we can't immediately get to him? He's just going to be running the guild for however long.
He says, Leatherbelly says, "All right. I'll talk to my guys and make sure guild services are off the table. We'll make sure you won't have access to anything from the shadows. If you guys want to take him out in the hotel room, that's up to you. I never want to see him again.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just nod at it.
All right.
Yeah, Soup's definitely going to escape.
You have a pretty secure compound here.
Where is he right now?
He's being held captive in a room upstairs.
Oh. So we can just go up there and kill him?
There you go. I have a gun right now.
They were trying to convince you to let him go and make it look like an accident, but you talked him into that's stupid and that you should just be able to go kill him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of backing right now. And since we let him go, like, getting to him again is going to be hard. And it's all for appearances when this dude was, I don't know, he's betraying the guild, he's killing people in the guild.
Also, like, doesn't it also make that guy look weak if, like, everyone knows this dude was betraying the guild, but, like, he wouldn't do anything?
Yeah, it's an argument.
Yeah, it kind of sends a stronger message, you would think, that when this dude is found betraying the guild, they fucking off him. Although, again, I don't know.
Well, it sounds like Remy has the chance right now to get his final and permanent revenge. And I say he takes it.
You could, I mean,
yeah.
if you... Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is going to be the plan. If they are saying he's upstairs right now and we can go up there and just kill him, then whenever I get the opportunity, I am going to go up there. Whenever this meeting's done.
The second I walk out of here.
Should force feed him some midnight tears.
Yeah.
Okay. So Leatherbelly's gonna say, all right, just making sure I got my story straight. From where I sit, it's unclear whether this was an actual betrayal or not, and I was giving one of my captains the benefit of the doubt. But before we had a chance to really have the conversation, you guys clipped him.
However you want to spin it, as long as they're not coming after us.
My clan is not in a position to go to war with Foul here. We'll take the hit on this one, especially given how bad my captain fucked up here. And we'll have to acknowledge your entry back into the guild, given that you're being sponsored by Foul.
That seems fair.
You go with this, Foul? He says, I'm gonna go with it. Leatherbelly says, well then welcome back, Remy, and extends a hand to shake your hand.
Woo!
Yeah, I stand up and do my bro shake. In real close proximity.
Yep. He says,
I'm
I
definitely thinking how delicious.
I didn't want to say this earlier because I was afraid it would make me look effeminate. But I'm already feeling pretty vulnerable. Is that citrus? What is that?
It is. Yeah, it's a new perfume my friend Bruno out there makes.
You gotta get me some. I need some of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fowler says, as he shows him off. The rest of you guys, you see Leatherbelly signal to his crew, and they all walk out. As soon as they're gone, Fowlerus is like, fucking degenerate. Can't believe he wasn't going to cap him himself. That disgrace. I would have came down on that guy and taught him a lesson.
Say, I agree. Sends a message to the entire guild that you don't betray them.
Fuck yeah. I'm not
It's
convinced
like
he was.
the whole way they operate, man.
I'm not convinced he wasn't in on it either. Maybe that's why.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me get to Durap before he weasels out of here.
All right. Hey, welcome back. Gives you a big hug. He says, "You're gonna be in my family now. Not that one."
It's a halfling. It's a little hug, Jason.
All right. You taking the whole group with you, or just you, or?
Yeah, do I got to go past them to get upstairs?
Well, you're gonna go back into the main bar area, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll walk back there and, say Durap's upstairs and motion for whoever can follow me.
How'd it go? What'd they say?
Say, I'm back in, and Durap is out.
Just one thing I gotta do real quick.
Yeah. Clasp you on the shoulder. That's what's up.
So I have to say, the citrus perfume was a big hit. Everybody agrees I smell delicious.
Glad to hear it. That's awesome.
Cool. So you can go upstairs. Very nice hotel, and they'll he's in room number 6. They give you a key and say, take care of it however you see fit.
Just burn the inn down.
Yeah.
We wanted to make an example. We're making an example.
Yeah, so I go up there, open the door, and what's going on in there?
You see, you hear some running water, or some water splashing around in the bathroom from a bath.
That's strange. It's okay. I go further to investigate.
You open the room.
Is this dude just unlocked in here?
Yeah. You open the room to the bathroom, and there's Durap in the bathtub with a nice scotch poured up, sitting next to him, smoking some tobacco.
Jeez.
And he just looks up and goes like, "Remy, what are you doing here?"
So I'm going to. I don't know if it's. I mean, obviously, I can't kill this dude with one shot, but I'm pulling out my light crossbow, my hand crossbow here, and just immediately shooting him. I was expecting him to be tied up. I was going to beat him with a blunt object, but it was.
Listen, to your point, by the mechanics of the game, we'd have to take several shots, roll initiative, do all that shit. But we're just going to rule it cool this one. Your crossbow bolt just goes through his fucking face, and he's just dead there in the bathtub, bleeding
Nice.
out.
Where's the one you? Where do you shoot them when they're betrayers or whatever?
Yeah.
I forget where.
You shoot him in the face so they can't have an open casket funeral. I know that.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the eyeball.
Right in the casket.
Yeah, we'll call that a coup de grace. Is coup de grace still a thing? It's not a thing, is it?
Should be.
There's like rules that emulate a coup de grace, but it's not called a coup de grace.
What are those rules?
I
I
think you
think
just automatically crit on someone who's incapacitated or paralyzed or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's if you're within 5 feet.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're
Well-
bringing it back.
I was gonna say an auto crit with, like, I don't know. You guys would have gotten there. It wouldn't. It wasn't. It's not worth it. Hashing it out.
Whereas we're beating naked Durap for 3 rounds or whatever.
Yeah.
While he casts, never mind.
Yeah.
So while he casts darkness and escapes,
Yeah.
because it's tiefling now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Revenge served.
Then I take his drink, Jason. I drink it. Drink on my ops.
There's nothing that tastes better than a wine from your enemy. That's what Euron Greyjoy says. Or Victorian. One of them.
Yeah.
All right, man. Darap is dead.
Awesome. Go and thank my party. Thank you guys for helping me get back in.
Always have your back, Remy.
Are you supposed to like hide his body now, or are they going to take care of that shit?
It's a really good question, Mary.
Like who was that on? Is he supposed to disappear, or is he supposed to be?
He's a halfling. Just unstopper the drain and let him go out through the pipe in the bottom of the bathtub. What's the problem?
Dude, you should put the crossbow in his hand.
Yeah. Well, that's a magical crossbow. I don't know what it does. I have written down here that it's magical. Goes in on a boot loop.
Oh.
It's a magical crossbow of instant death to anyone in a bathtub.
Dude, he's not going to want to break that down.
Oh shit, we should just carry around a bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah, let that get Runa to break that down so we can get rid of the murder weapon.
Yeah, there we go.
The perfect crime.
When you go back downstairs, Fowl is there and says, like, well, now that you're back in, you know the cost for a cleaner. And holds out his hand. It's about 20 gold.
Okay. Give him 20 gold. Smirk at him.
He turns to the guy on the front desk and says, "Call Ted. We got a job in room 6 for him."
So
he said,
this dude's just going to disappear. Well, until he goes to hell and is reborn as something.
So wait, sorry,
No.
isn't that like another cardinal sin though? Like attacking
someone in the hotel.
yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that's the John Wick universe rules, but I think we did reference that earlier. But
Yeah.
those are more like guidelines.
It's
The
an
rules.
exception. This is an exception.
He's gonna pull you to the side, Remy. He says, "Look, given the circumstance, I think it's only appropriate if we open the books. What are you doing tomorrow evening?"
So I was going to head to save a friend of mine, but I'm sure I could delay it another day.
Yeah, he said, "Can it wait one day?"
Absolutely. I'm sure I can convince my group. Hopefully.
He's not that good of a friend. It's fine.
All right.
Ratchet is pretty important, though. But
Come back here. We're gonna have the ceremony. Just you this time.
I nod.
All right. See you then. Good job, kid.
Awesome.
All right. Anyone doing anything for the next 24 hours?
It's like now I just get fucking offed when I go back.
Anyone doing anything for the next 24 hours? No? All right.
Yeah.
At the next night at nightfall, when you arrive at the Bronze Stag, Remy, there's several other halflings, some of which you saw the day before, some of which are new faces, all dressed in their finest suits and courtiers outfit. Many of them also smelling of some nice cologne.
Nice.
Waiting in the lobby. You come alone?
Yeah, that was the instructions. And when I see them all, I go around and greet them.
Nice. They all say, they're all like giving you a big hug and saying like, congratulations. Like, I remember this day for me. Congratulations. There's another gentleman who shows up as well. His name is Milo. He's also
I'm sorry, what's his fucking name?
Milo. Oh, you have a character named Milo, don't you?
In this adventure, as a matter of fact. I'm just
Yes.
making sure it's not me.
He's hanging out in the wildlands.
Do you think there's only one Milo?
Yeah, it's a pretty common
I'm
name.
just making sure it's not me, bro.
It's not you. I wonder why that came to mind so easily. Yeah, that's why. Oh well.
Who? He was
yeah.
kind of assassiny too.
Yeah. So they're gonna take you in the back room. There's a hand crossbow on the table. That looks very like ceremonial, as well as like a really nice dagger and a black lotus flower. They're positioned in a way that's very clear to indicate that it's like a ceremonial positioning. And they say, Fowler says, "Hold out your hands."
I hold out my hands.
All right. They take a sack with gold in it, and they position your hands in a way that the sack has gold spilling out. They from the back wall they pull down a cloth, and there's a portrait of Dalathun.
I was gonna say the overflowing bag of gold. That's Dalathun.
Yeah. They said, "We're gonna share a secret that's only known within the Assassin's Guild. Dalathun did not die to suck the halflings off into the void.
Why
Dalath-
did she suck them off?
Dalathun is still very much alive, and our patron. Goddess of secrets and bounty. She serves the big man, Shem himself, and the two of them rule the guild, promise prosperity."
Shocked face.
He says,
Like, what? Dalathun's still alive?
"May you, if you serve the guild, this guild comes above all else, above your adventuring party, above the government, above your own wives and children. And if you serve it loyally, your bounty will overflow, just like this bag. But if you betray us, Dalathun will ensure certain death, and we will come down hard upon you,
Just like the rat.
just like that piece of shit, Darap."
It's like this. It's right from The Sopranos.
Yeah, couple tweaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says, "Repeat after me. I promise to serve Clan Longtopple loyally."
Yeah, I'd repeat after him.
"I promise to serve the shadows with my life and my afterlife loyally."
Repeat that.
"I promise to serve Shem Blithwin Thorngage and Dalathun loyally, above all else."
Yeah, he repeats that as well.
"All right. May your bounties overflow, your wine be delicious, and your enemies be poisoned. Let's raise a cheer to our new Dories."
I don't know if I have a drink, but
They give you a drink. All
I
right.
licked my lips. I still got some of that leftover whiskey.
I was waiting for him to go. And you have to give your soul.
Yeah. To
I was
Asmodeus.
like, whoa, we're a little far with that last one.
Yeah. All right. Point of inspiration. You're a made dude within the shadows now.
Huzzah!
Made.
Fucking huzzah. Made halfling.
Can't wait till he has to betray us to honor the guild.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Maybe. So that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. It's not like Shem, the guild's founder, ever betrayed the rest of the group for some. For some money
I
or
did
whatever.
stole Gavin's magic items. I remember.
Yeah.
I forget why.
So
Yeah.
doesn't Shem rule a lair of hell?
The first Slayer, Avernus, yeah. Or Burns.
Yeah, but he didn't ask for his soul.
Yeah. Foul. The last thing is Foul will say, "That's another thing. This alliance that Tarap made with Omeron looks like it might be time to break it. Doesn't seem like they have our best interest in mind."
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. It sounds like they were just going to toss us aside once they got what they needed.
I'm gonna have to toss them aside. Do some.
Yeah.
If you find out any information during your adventure on enemies or anyone we can support, we're located throughout the country, so probably unwise to just come out and announce our disagreement. But behind the scenes, let's work to make sure we get some vengeance on these fuckers.
So, yeah, do we still have a safe house in the Northeast?
We do. In Sharid. It's known as the Green Pixie.
The Green Pixie. Nice.
Gained plus 400 reputation with Shem's Shadows.
Yep.
Yeah, and it seems like our goals are currently aligned.
Yep.
Cool.
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 While you're there with a bunch of Shem Shadow representatives, maybe you should ask them if they ever ended up sending shadows into the wildlands to check them out.
Yeah, was that I mean, Darap definitely had the letter, right?
Rap
Trap-
said it was going to Conwell.
Lord
But I
Conwell
don't
was
know
trying
if they executed on it or not.
to hire
Some,
mercenaries to work for a guy named Shadowthorn, who was trying to invade the Wildlands.
Assuming Mary asked me to ask beforehand, I'll bring it up here. Say, my friend Mary asked me to ask. He's kind of obsessed with the Wildlands.
Legend has it that's where we're from originally. What about the Wildlands?
Yeah, so I mentioned the letter that was in Darap's. Did we investigate? I don't even remember what it was about. Thorngage or something? Not Thorngage.
Shadowthorn.
Shadowthorn.
No, to be honest, I'm not sure. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it was a dumb question. I said I'd ask. I don't know. Mary's a little naive. He's weird. He comes from the caravan.
What's that?
It's where all the halflings got sucked off by.
Oh, those wagons that go around the different, like a bunch of unhoused people.
Yeah, they have to know about the caravan.
My pappy used to tell me stories about how that's what happens to halflings who don't work hard. They get stuck in these caravans. That if you take risks and you maybe have a little bit of moral ambiguity, you end up like us. But those
overflowing.
those working class schmucks.
Mucking around.
Can you believe that? Oh, I'm going to fix a wheel today. Oh.
Somebody's got to fix wheels, man.
All right.
So when I get back to the party, I say, all right, I'm ready to go save Ratchet.
Let's do it.
And that's a good point to stop, and we will conclude the rescuing of Ratchet next time. Huzzah! Thanks for watching that video. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the like button or ring the bell to subscribe to future notifications. You can also check us out on Twitch, where we stream our campaign every other Sunday at around 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We're trying to get to the affiliate level on Twitch, so any viewership or commentary that you can provide to us is super appreciated. And make sure to check the description box below for our social media information. See you at the pub.